You know, probably just irritating or whatever, Jessy, right? Give me 1 second.
So are you guys coming because I wanted it or because you guys wanted it?
There's no, because I think because you sent a communication.
Yeah, they were so confused and they came to me. I'm like, wow, I sent 2, but not resent. I don't.
Yeah.
So I was so confused.
Yeah. So we came up with your communication.
Yeah. Well, and I was like, that was an older one, but
There was one that wasn't dated.
that's what they said. And I said, well, to be honest, I was waiting for the PO, and I said, since she didn't come today, I'm going to be submitting one, but I just assumed, like, the PO and everybody else, you guys have regular days on regular Monday.
A little bit of all different shifts. So, obviously,
Same routine.
Same routine, Jessy, as always, okay? You understand
Yeah.
that. No questions asked on that
Yeah.
one. I should know it by now, but what's your middle initial, Jessy?
R.
Birthday. Why do I want to say 14?
It's okay, I got pulled out of my room today. I go, they handcuffed me, and they're like, this lady wants to see you, and it's the nurse, and I'm like, she's like, and Julie, what's your last name? I was like, my first name's Jessy, and my last name's Kurczewski, and she's like, can you spell it? She goes, yeah, this isn't you. And she goes, what's your room? I said, 425. And she goes, are you overdosing? I said, yeah, I don't use drugs, so you got the wrong person.
So they kept you in pot 4, they didn't take you down last night? They didn't? Okay, good.
Were they supposed to?
No, obviously when we talked to you for a couple days in a row, they want to know what's going on, and we told them, and sometimes given the circumstances, sometimes they put you in a more observation area.
Oh, okay. No.
All right, Jessy, let's start this is the part over with. You have the right to remain silent.
Yes.
Anything you say can and will be used against you in court.
Mm-hmm.
Understand?
Yes.
You have the right to talk to a lawyer before questioning and have him or her present during questioning.
Yes.
If you cannot afford a lawyer, one will be appointed for you before questioning if you wish.
Yes.
You can decide at any time to exercise these rights and not answer any questions or make any statements. Do you understand?
Yes.
Do you understand all of the rights I have read to you?
Yes.
And you understand what they are? Do you have any questions?
No.
You willing to talk to me?
Yes.
Go ahead and sign for me right there, okay? It is the 12th, and it is 4:14 p.m.
You just work all shifts?
Pretty much. We're kind of all over. I mean, my partners may say different, but...
Well, because my mom actually was just here earlier, and she was, oh, mine works for second shift. I'm like, wait, what?
Yeah.
We're all over the board.
Yeah, I know your mom was trying to get her phone back.
Yeah, she was like, I just want to talk to her, and I'm like, I don't know. But they did like the video thing. I thought was the PO being all excited. Yeah, it wasn't.
So obviously, just obviously it's being recorded. But for the record, we thought you wrote a communication form today. We clarified it wasn't the date, but you told the CEO upstairs that you still wanted to talk to us. So, fair enough, because I still have, I'd like to ask you some questions too. We still have, I'd still like to clarify some things. I think we still have some stuff to talk about.
Mm-hmm.
But with that being said, I'm going to give you the first crack here. So you said you had some questions. Feel free. Go ahead and ask what you want.
I just basically am trying to see if we know any more where things are at. My biggest thing is obviously I can't talk to Julie, and that's hard for me right now because I think I'm probably going to be sitting, or she's going to either pen things or wait. I'm assuming she doesn't want me to wait until you guys figure out what charges are going to be.
She met with Detective Cole yesterday. My understanding was he briefed her on the investigation and where we were at, and her plan was to come talk to you.
Okay.
So, obviously you didn't get any paperwork, anything like that. So,
well, and I know she was off today, so my mom did call and found out that. I said, well, I know she had something happen with the family, so I didn't know.
Yeah.
That's just what I was wondering is she coming? Because I keep putting it off. And my big thing is I guess that I am waiting to really say to you guys because I wanted to talk to her first. But I need to just put it out there eventually because I'm going to run out of time. I do have some stuff of Lynn's that can help me as far as a video that she recorded and phone conversation, or not phone conversations, talking. conversations and papers that she had signed. That when she was first like going through some stuff, I also do have some bottles of Visine with dates on them, and I do have that partial gun. I don't have any bullets. I don't have the bomb that fires it. And this is all safekeeping that Lynn actually held on to, and I added to in case something ever happened. I didn't want to tell you guys until I talked to an attorney, because that's my biggest thing is I want to talk to somebody, because I don't know what to do going forward. And my mom goes, well, didn't they find it? I said, no, it's not at the house. My mom doesn't know where it is. She doesn't know anything.
Okay, so with that being said,
Mm-hmm.
you just made a comment. You said you want an attorney.
I will still talk.
Okay, I need to clarify. Remember, Jessy, at any time you decide you don't want to talk to us any further and you want an attorney, you can end this, okay? So
I am that. I understand
your rights and you don't want to keep talking to us, okay? Is that true?
Correct.
Okay, remember.
And that's why I'm letting you know. I have put it off because I was hoping she would have been here soon. I kind of where I'm at right now, and this is why I wanted to talk to you guys, because I don't know how to handle it, or without being able to talk to her, don't know if you guys can interfere, I don't know how it works. Basically, this is where I'm at, is I know that something's going to happen, obviously. I know you guys are still looking into stuff. I know this is going to take a little bit of time, I understand that. I know I have some violations. I don't know how serious or what she categorizes them, I don't know. So, and I don't know what she's going to do, obviously, with those. I haven't had any since I've been out, so that's 2 years and some time. I have 5 months left. I know once I have a charge, I'm going to have a revocation hearing, or more than likely, it's going to be revoked. I know that. With my 5 months left.
And how much time do you have hanging on
5 months. That is my maximum discharge. So my question is, with that, they cannot add to it. I can get more charges, but they can't extend that, correct? Because I've already had it and extended.
I'm going to leave that up to them.
I know.
But let me ask you though.
Yeah.
If I told you, and this is where we talked about yesterday, is the part where when we leave gaps and when you're not honest with us on one day, but then the next day you want to be honest, that's a problem.
I get it.
So when I ask you that, if you're concerned about getting revocated 5 months versus 20 years, 30 years, you see the huge difference. So that's fine. You might screw yourself a little bit with your probation, but if this helps us determine what happened and it saves, you're talking about a significant charge. So again, how you got to go with perception, how it looks. So
this is where I am coming at. I am willing to divulge that information, obviously, because it's going to help me only, honestly. But at the same sense, where I'm having a hard time, and this is why I wanted to talk to Julie, but I'm sitting right now and I can't. Okay? So this is in a storage in somebody else's name. Okay? Also, it's due to be paid. So I'm worried as far as what's going to happen in the meantime. My mom has to pay it, and I said, I won't give you the information. Strictly because I know you guys are listening to calls. I know I'm not releasing that until I'm ready. And the simple fact is because I need to talk to somebody. So she did call today for an attorney. But I also want to talk to Julie. So this is my question or proposal or asking, and you can say I'm crazy or that's not going to work or I don't know. That's why I'm talking to you. Is I am wondering if there's a way you guys can talk with Julie or get her in here, obviously, if you say she's coming, great. I know she won't come until Monday or after, obviously, weekend. What I am trying to do, I don't care if I have to wear an ankle monitor. I don't care if I have to check in 5 times a day with you guys or her. I don't care what I have to do. I'm asking for a week to 2 weeks to go pay my bills, find an attorney, and clear the air here. That's what I want. I don't know how possible that is, but I am willing to do whatever it takes, including wearing an ankle bracelet. I think I'm not a runner. I'm not going anywhere. But I can't do much sitting here. That's the problem. And I'm going to be real honest about one more thing. My mom, she's got that Jeep. She took out a title loan for that Jeep. I am to be making the payments. That is also due. So she's freaking out right now. She doesn't even know what to do about that. I said, you need to be honest and tell Julie about it. Because that's the only thing, that's the only way I can help you. Because she can't do anything with my accounts, obviously. So I just told her, I said, you gotta tell her, you gotta be honest. So I'm just letting you guys know about this all stuff because this is what is on my mind and the worry for the next week coming. The other thought is regardless of what happens, I need to pack my stuff up at Scott's. My mom ain't gonna do it. She took my car, she took my purse. I gotta get my stuff out of there. So I know that. I'm not trying to run. I'm not trying to hide. I'm not trying to do anything. I'm trying to take care of shit is my biggest thing. And I can't do it sitting here. And I feel like everything's pending right now except the PO violation. And I'm wondering if besides that, if there's something that can be worked out for the time being until you guys are done with your investigation.
So what you're telling me is Jessy, that you have information that you think could be valuable for your end of this case that could help clear your name.
Yes.
And you are willing to try and hold that kind of as a ransom per se to get what you want. And ransom's a tough word. Get what you're saying. You're saying hold on a second. You're saying, detective, I have information that can help clear my name or help me understand or help you understand what happened here, but I'm not going to give it to you for this. Jessy, we told you yesterday, we can't do anything with probation.
And I get that.
Julie's going to do whatever she wants. We can't do that. We can't let you out. I can't let you do that. All I can tell you is if you have information I think could be helpful for it's a benefit for you.
And I get that. I think the biggest thing is right now is I don't want to do anything with that until that part is talked to or an attorney looks at. And that's where I'm at with that because I don't know everything that's there. I didn't fully go through it, I'll be honest. But this is something she had started. I had added to it. But it's more so I'm trying to be careful here because I feel like I already got myself in a mess. And before I add to it, I need some outside litigation.
Let me ask you, what do you think? Again, you made that comment now.
But I'm still talking to you. I'm not saying I'm not willing to talk to you. I'm not saying that. But at the same sense, I feel like, and I'll be very honest, especially talking to my mom today, I feel like she wasn't allowed her phone still because you guys don't want us to talk. I get that.
No,
but after talking to her, I feel like everyone's getting different parts of the story.
Let me back up there. Your mom's phone, we're just having problems with it.
Okay.
If we were trying to stop you guys from talking, we would block your visits.
Okay.
I mean,
I know what I thought until...
And we can't monitor visits.
Yeah.
So, I mean, we're not trying to stop you guys from talking. There's none like that. No, you're on no restrictions, Jessy.
Well, and I didn't even know her house was searched until today, which I don't care. Okay. But I brought up to her that letter that Lynn wrote because I know when Lynn wrote that, and I was... Either that was one when I was still in jail or when she was helping Mom when I first got out. But Mom's like, everything that me and her were saying, we were getting different. And she's working with somebody different. I don't know who. But I feel like we're getting different information. And that's what is worrying me. Now, Scott told me that you guys are charging him first-degree murder. That's what you guys told him. And I'm like, what? I didn't. So that's what I'm saying. I'm just getting a little concerned because of that. So I'm not saying I'm not talking to you because I'm here talking to you, but I'm getting a little worried here, like, when do I have to stop?
Scott's going off the information on the warrant.
Okay.
Okay, that's what Scott is going off
of.
You know, the rest, I can't tell you when to stop. You know you have that right to stop at any point you want. You can tell me to go pound sand or be nice and say, detective, I just want to go back to my jail cell.
Yeah.
I mean, that's totally up to you. But what I'll tell you is, or what I really want to ask you is, what is in there that you think would be so damning for your probation? That you're so worried about Julie finding? Because, Jessy, let me ask you.
I'm not really worried about the probation at this point.
Then what? Without you telling me exactly, well, what's in the storage that's gonna be so damning? Because I
don't know. That's what I don't know exactly everything in it. That's why it's not that I don't want to say, here you go, I want you to have it. It's not that I don't want to say that because trust me, I want to. But at the same sense, I don't know for sure without me seeing it. And I didn't really look at it. I did this how long ago now?
But even if you talked to Julie and you said, hey, okay, we're not going to take you out. We're not going to let you go through it, Jessy. I mean, I'll just tell you right now, if you're trying to clear yourself and you think something's out there, I guess I would hold it. Mandy, I mean, would you hold something that's possibly going to help you?
Yeah.
I mean, throw probation aside.
Yeah. We
know you're not supposed to be a Potawatomi, and you're a Potawatomi a lot. We know you're not supposed to have guns, whether you acknowledge that you were.
Yeah. I get what you're saying on that one.
Guns and bows are two different things.
That case, honest to God, since I moved in the house, has never moved from under the bed. And it's huge. He's a bow hunter.
Okay.
That's why he hasn't hunted the whole time I've been
with this guy for 3.5 years.
I get it, but he hasn't hunted one time I've been with him.
You're sleeping
so
over
that has
guns.
stayed in there.
Guns. You're sleeping over
I
guns.
would just say it though. I swear to
You never
God.
look under your bed and say, man, what's in the case?
I've always assumed it's
Gee, there's a box in my bed. I know it's in there, but every 2 months I'm looking at it again.
like a bow case to you though? My mom's
I've never seen it.
Oh,
I've never seen
my mom's boyfriend used to be a bow hunter. It's a huge, like, bow case. Like, you know how they, like, turn? I haven't seen a gun in a case like that ever. But I'm not a gun person. Sorry, I'm not.
Okay.
And he knew I'm not supposed to be around guns. He's known that. So I'm like, how do you tell me you have 2 on top of it?
Yeah. Yeah. So, and that's the part that gets me.
Yeah.
So, that leads me to what else would be in there that you wouldn't want us to see? I mean,
I don't know, and that's where I'm at this point. I'm not saying like I'm not gonna release it, but I feel like I have been I went back and forth with you guys, but I feel like now you guys know the most. I feel like I still don't know. You guys are still digging into stuff, and I don't know what. I don't really know why. Because, you know, you guys said, well, the medical examiner said this. And something Detective Cole said to me yesterday caught me wrong at the end of the interview. And he kept saying, oh, I think you did it for this. And at the end of the interview, he made me feel like he was saying, you're a murderer. That's honestly how I felt. So I went, I'm getting 2 different sides here. I don't know if you guys are playing like the good cop, bad cop. I always watch cop shows and too much. I'm telling you, I do. I'm not.
Well, with the 3 interviews, I don't think we were either. I mean, yeah, he
I
got
just don't know what to feel about any of this right now. And that's where I'm
we weren't playing that though, Jessy. I mean, what were we? I mean, I know he got a little animated yesterday, but I mean, for the most part, we weren't dicks to you, were we?
No, I'm not saying that. I just don't know at this point where to feel like things are. I don't know what to think next because I'm not getting anywhere. Do you know what I mean?
No,
I used to work for a law firm. So I'm not saying I'm done talking. I just don't know when's enough to be like, okay, I need to talk to somebody because I'm facing some serious charges. You know, that's where I'm at. I don't know because I'm getting it both ways. I'm getting, well, I see it looking like this. Well, obviously you guys don't know what the DA is going to do. But then you guys are like, well, we're still looking into this. So I don't know what I'm supposed to
Well, we're
think.
still looking into the entire investigation, Jessy. I mean, it's not just, this isn't, you know, a boyfriend, girlfriend, or husband or wife. She pissed me off, and she told me she was cooking dinner. She didn't, and I shot her. It's not cut and dry like that. There is so many different components to this, and you know, yesterday I think we're 95%. I think we're all on the same page as far as, you know, what happened. I still think there's some loose ends that we have to tie up, and it would be nice to tie up. But now you're coming forward and you're saying, I have this, and that might help me. And that's the part where it boggles the mind of, if something's going to help you, Jessy, why aren't we looking at this? Why aren't you giving this? Because the reality is, you knew you were giving Lynn, I mean, something that had 6 bottles of Visine in it.
But I also wasn't giving it to her without her knowing that either. That's where I feel like now you guys are going, did she know?
But here's the part. So you want us, because we can't ask Lynn that question anymore, and you want us to trust you and believe that you're telling us that and saying, hey, detective, I swear to you, Lynn knew she was getting that.
Yeah.
But what are we supposed to think when Tuesday's a different story, Wednesday's a different story, Thursday's a different story, and now come Friday, I have stuff that could help me, but I don't want to. That's where I'm telling you the perception of what are we supposed to think when it hasn't been as, all right, guys, here's what happened. We're not getting that. So help me believe you when you're telling me that, Jessy, and that's why I'm telling you. Would it be easy enough? Okay, Jessy said she gave her a bottle of water with 6 Visines in it. Here you go, Judge, District Attorney. Let's charge her with first-degree homicide. You would have been in intake court today. Your face would have been all over the news, but we're not doing that. Here we are. We're sitting. We're still trying to talk. We're still trying to figure it out. So, you know, I mean, Help me out here, Jessy. Help me.
Trust me, you got me up in a cell, losing my mind, talking to myself right now, and it's very hard. Very hard.
So you're going crazy up there?
I'm going nuts. I mean, trust me, I prefer the single cell versus Milwaukee any day.
True.
But it is, I haven't done this in a while. It's very hard. I'm telling you, prison's way better. Not that I don't want to go. I don't. But I guess I'm at a point where I don't know what to think anymore. I don't. You know, my mom's freaking out, and she goes, well, clearly you didn't do anything. They should know that, you know. And then she's going, well, I think you need an attorney. And I'm going, so it's just, I don't know what to think anymore. You know, I'm at a point where I am really like, what? And I guess it's hard for me because I'm not as worried about the probation. I am, don't get me wrong, I am. But this is a lot more serious.
Very much.
You know,
Very much so.
What I guess for me is where I'm getting frustrated is, had I not been on probation, I wouldn't be sitting right now. I'd be out until I was charged. And that's what's frustrating is because I'd be able to do more right now as far as, hopefully take care of a job that I probably don't have anymore because it's been 4 days and nobody's called them.
Did your mom didn't give him a call?
She didn't know until today, nobody called. And at this point, I don't know when I'm getting out. So what are you really going to call them and tell them? Hey, she's in jail. I don't really want
How much do they like you?
Well, they like me, but I'm still new. So it's like, how much can you do when and we had somebody on vacation this week and somebody on vacation next week. So that's going to be a hard one.
All right. Let me ask you, Are you okay? Let's get back to this in a minute. Let's get back to the storage stuff in a minute. Are you okay if I ask you some questions about that last day again?
Yeah.
Okay. So we covered before that you bought the 11 bottles, 2 at the house, 3 in the vodka, 6 in the water, right? When did she drink the vodka?
The night before.
The night before. So the night before she died.
And you know, I thought of this because I don't think I clarified it very well. She had 2, was roughly, I'm going to say somewhere between like 3 and 5. I don't know my exact time I was there. I saw I'm honest. I'm not good with times. You can check on my phone. I'm not lying. I was there. I just don't know for sure. The early afternoon wise. And she drinks, they're like about this tall and about, like that. That's what she was drinking vodka. But it wasn't straight vodka. I want to clarify that because I don't think I said that. And he's like, well, she couldn't have drank that much that quick. She never drank straight vodka. It was always vodka water. My mom knows that too. But I want to clarify that because I don't think I said that. And I want to make that sure that was said.
So vodka water by the...
Yes. Hold on.
Okay. So when she put it you're still saying she put it in?
I'm still saying she put it in. I was not there when she did that. I was not there. I came back and the bottles were empty. These were 2-3 days prior. When I came back and the bottles were empty. And I asked her where they were.
Do you think she would have put it in the bottle of vodka? I mean, was it the big Fleischmann's bottle?
It's a big bottle, but there was only about, I want to say, not a lot.
Okay, so would she have put it in there, or would she have put it in her glass?
No, she would have put it in the bottle.
Yeah,
usually she put the stuff in the bottles. Yeah.
Okay. So the water. Are you there when she puts it in the water?
No. I was not there when she put it in either or. I have before, but not this time. And I know when she puts it in the water, I usually could tell because of the top. Usually. But she got used to me throwing those ones out on her.
And when you say that, can you describe what you mean by that?
You know when you uncap I don't know. When you uncap, you can generally know this.
Okay.
Because after she passed, my mom went to grab water out of the fridge too. And like days later. And I said, don't grab anything. Because I just don't trust the bottles anymore. I got to the point where I threw out everything. So. And the one thing my mom did ask, out of curiosity, regardless of how she looked, how come that water bottle and the stuff around her blanket, things like that, how come that wasn't taken?
Because at the time, there was nothing suspicious.
Okay.
We didn't think.
I was just curious myself, because I was like, even the blanket, I'm like, I remember that was there. And I'm like,
well, I'll tell you, Jessy, when we get a call from medical examiner saying that there's a problem because it's not what it looks like that day, trust me, it threw everybody for a loop. And when you talk about time of the investigation, that's why it took so long, because clearly, sometimes we tend to do that as cops. You go to a scene and sometimes we go overkill, but when we do it, we do it for that reason, because you can never go back. And this is one of those ones where you wish you had that time machine and you go back. Yeah. So, we didn't. And, unfortunately, we were kind of starting from behind the 8 ball on this one.
I do want to clarify something else too, but if you want to keep going, that
no, go ahead, clarify.
As far as that paper, I did again. I brought that up today because it was bothering me. That is a living will. That is not her. And I really want to clarify that because I know I was with her when we signed that, and that was purposely for medical purposes and for her lockbox. And that really bothered me because I really didn't, and my mom and the attorney actually. Have you guys talked to the attorney at all? Okay, the attorney can attest to that because we called her together and said Lynn passed away, whatever, so forth, because Lynn gave us everything. This is what you do, she was good about that. Just like those papers that were out, she always had everything ready. But I did not know she changed her will. And I really don't. I didn't know I was a personal rep, and I wasn't even on the will before. It was my mom and Anthony. She changed it sometimes when I got out of prison, and my mom did not know either. It was always Anthony and my mom, and then she switched it to me and Anthony. My mom was like backup or something. But I did not, and that really bothered me because the financial aspect, I know you guys keep going back to that, but if you talk to the attorney, she knows too, because that was one thing I wanted to do too if I got out, was ask her when that was changed, and she can verify that I didn't know either because of when I called. My mom actually said, I'm calling, blah, 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 and she was actually, I need to talk to Jessy, not you. So.
Who got the proceeds from the house sale?
They were split.
Between who?
Me and Anthony. I mean, the majority went to creditors, so. I didn't know if you guys had talked to the attorney or dealt with any of that, or.
No, and that's all to do in the future here. First things first was trying to clarify.
Well, no, because we have a claim hitting probate, coming back to probate right now, and everything's been settled. So I thought maybe you guys were into that too, so I didn't know.
Okay. No, I mean, we know you were at the probate, yeah.
Yeah.
But,
and honestly, after all the credit cards, between me and Anthony, it was $1,300. Or $13,000. Sorry, I said that wrong.
13,000?
Yeah.
Profit.
Yes. After the creditors. And now we have more creditors still coming in. It was closed, but they're reopening. And that's just because we couldn't keep up with everything that there was. They had their time frame. I had what we were getting forwarded as far as mail and stuff. I knew of majority, but I didn't obviously know every single thing. I mean, she had multiple credit cards from the same company that I wasn't even aware of. Like, I think she had like seven all from the same company, but some were under different names, like Capital One wise. So, I mean, she had an insane, I've never seen somebody with that many credit cards, I'll be honest. I mean, never. Even the attorney said that. And I do want to clarify, too, because I know you guys are looking at financial. I did not open anything after she passed away. Nothing. So I don't know where that's coming from, but I know that for a fact. I did not touch anything.
We never accused her after she died. No.
Oh, that's what I thought you guys said yesterday. And I was like, I did not. Anything I did was with her while she was alive. I didn't do anything without her.
All right. Can you give me 2 minutes? Do you want water? By being free. I'm just kidding. Yeah, sure. I'm okay, guys.
It's like it's so dry. It's not just here, it's this whole building.
It's dry.
Yeah.
It is.
Like being here for a couple days, I'm like, oh my, like I'm talking so much lately, I'm like, oh my god, I'm like, put my lips and everything, I'm like, oh my gosh, this is like awful. Are you one of the working on it too, or you're just helping out today?
I'm just helping out second shift detective today.
No, because my mom gave me somebody's name, I don't know. Thank you. So I thought maybe it was you or something. I didn't know.
No, ma'am, not my name.
I just want to clarify one thing, Jessy,
Yes.
real quick, okay, before we keep talking. Because it kind of, I just want, you said before
Yes.
that you want an attorney. Let me ask you, you are still knowingly saying that you're waiving your right to an attorney and
Yes.
you want to keep talking to us, correct?
Yes.
Okay, I just want to make sure that that's the case, that at no
I
point,
completely understand the difference.
okay,
Like I said, I worked for a law firm for years.
so you know,
Watch all this stuff. Yes, I know what
when you were talking about that, you're talking about, you want to talk about the PO and then you want to talk about anything else?
Yes, no, I'm still talking to you and I'm still able to talk to you. I didn't say otherwise. I just know eventually I have to bring in outside something, that's all I'm saying.
Okay, but
That's
again,
saying right now, yes, I'm
so
still talking.
you're still waiving your right to an attorney at this
Yes.
point? Okay, alright. Let's go, we'll take a break. I promised you something earlier. We'll do that.
Oh.
And then,
Okay.
well, yeah, I
Okay.
my last word.
Okay.
Okay?
Sure. I was like, I thought you had more questions for me.
No, so remember,
Just give me-
we're not gonna talk about anything out there. We'll save it all for back in here.
I'm bringing something.
Sure, go ahead. Make it right again. Yeah, it really is.
Can I ask you a curiosity?
Oh, this is always good.
Why didn't you guys just have me come in? Why did it have to go through all
We
this?
tried to get you to come in last.
Well, it wasn't that I wasn't going to come in. It's just I started that new job. I'm like, well, no, I thought about it, and I'm like, why is it they had to get like this extreme? I wasn't saying no, just trying to work it out in a different.
different
Well,
time frame.
And then he's like, yeah. Well, then he's like, oh, I'll get back to you. And
Well, we did. We got back to you.
well,
We came to your house. We came to you.
I mean, I've never not came in for anything. Like, I see my PO on the regular. I do everything like I'm supposed to. So I'm like, why?
All right, Jesse. So
Let's go back.
let's get back to this whole thing. So let's go over something. I know Chris told you sit there and said this guy thinks that you murdered her for money. Okay, we talked about yesterday. All right. Now you're saying that you have evidence that can validate your claim that Lynn was trying to hurt herself and that she basically was enlisting your help to do that.
Yep.
Now you're saying that you have evidence of that. Explain to me why that you're so against showing us that.
I'm not against it. I just am not ready yet. That's what it is. I'm not against it. I'm really not. I just don't know. I guess I'm not ready yet. And it was something I thought the other day, and it's just because that's the point where I want to talk to somebody, and I want to have a better idea of my options at that. Because I don't know where things stand right now. So that's kind of where I'm at. It's not that I'm not saying, I'm going to just hang on to it forever. I'm not. That's not my plan at all, obviously. But I just, at this point, I don't know where I stand as far as the legal process or how things work. I don't know enough knowledge, I guess.
Is there anything that I can help clarify with you where you're at to get a better understanding? Because what we're coming down to, Jesse, is you're not going to be able to go there, okay?
Yeah.
You're not going to be able to get out and go to the storage shed. You're not going to be able to do this. Let me ask you, what do you think Julie's going to say when we tell her that you're telling us that there's evidence that could help you in this storage shed that you don't want to tell us where it is that could possibly help your case? How is that going to look to Julie? I mean, you're worried about 5 months. I'm telling you to worry about the rest of your life.
Oh, I get that. I get that.
No, see, that's the part.
I get it.
I think you kind of do, but you kind of don't because there's evidence there. I mean, I don't know. I mean, do you got a dead body hiding in a storage shed? Is there something? Is there a body in there?
For me, it's that the legality of things right now is I've been able to talk to you guys, but I haven't been able to talk to anybody else. That's hard for me. You guys are doing your side of the job. I need somebody on the other side, like an attorney, not saying for questioning, but I need to know.
Again, so you're not invoking your rights, correct?
No,
okay. Every time you say
that. I know, and that's why I don't want to keep saying it in that sense, but that's why.
The case is important to me, Jesse, but in the same aspect, I understand your rights. I respect the fact that people have their rights. So if, again, at any time you feel that you're in too deep or this or that, you let me know, okay? Because I'm not going to. I don't want you to do that.
And I guess that's my biggest thing. I don't want to. I guess waste your time talking on that right now because that's what's holding me back right now is not being able to talk to an attorney about it. Anything else, I have no problem answering questions or doing, but you
do have the ability to contact one. I mean, in the jail, you can make a phone call.
Yeah, but I don't have anybody like in mind. You know what I mean? It's not like, I mean, my mom's looking. She just started today. You know, but it's. I don't want to say it's thrown out the window.
And why would if you don't want us to see this, if you don't want us to talk about it, if you don't want us, then why even bring it up, Jessy? Why say that there's this stuff hanging? Because
well, and that's why
you said the payment's overdue, right? You said the payment's coming up due.
Yeah.
You know those places don't wait long. They're going to get rid of your shit. They're going to get rid of it in a hurry. They're going to get rid of it. So why risk losing something that could help you?
At
Because
this point,
the reality is, Jessy,
Yeah.
you know
Yeah.
that this is a serious investigation.
Yeah, I do. And I think I just need a few days on it. That's where I'm at with that. I'm willing to answer and do anything because that's what I want to do right now. But this, I'm just sitting on right now. And it's just something that I just feel I want to. I don't have the best answer except that I want to talk to somebody else about it. That's the only thing I can honestly say because it's true.
So you just want to ask somebody about the storage issue. Okay. So I want to talk to you about the phone stuff a little bit more, okay?
I was going to ask you that too. Everything you guys did take, eventually do we get that back? Or I don't even know what you all took. I know the phones, obviously. Does that
anything that holds evidentiary value, we're going to keep.
Okay.
Okay. So
I'm assuming you guys took my laptop, right?
yes.
I mean, it's brand new, so there's nothing on there, so not worried, but just asking.
Basically all electronics.
Okay.
We took. Your cell phone.
Yes.
We were able to recover a lot of deleted stuff.
That's good.
Yeah, it is good. It is good, Jeff.
Because I knew there was a lot deleted, so that's why I was hoping that.
So, what was some of? Why would you have been researching certain poisons?
I wasn't. That was her. That's what I said she was doing. She was looking at any options, and I said that. She looked at the pill. I mean, I know some of it. I don't remember all of it, but she looked at different options. She looked at a lot of different options.
Okay. But there were some recent searches.
Recent?
Yeah, like in June of 2019.
For what?
Some recent poison.
I don't know on that one.
Oh.
It wasn't poison that she had used, or was it?
I think so.
Then I don't know. I really don't on that one. I mean, I'd be honest, I don't on that one. Why would I have looked for it recent?
I don't know. That's why I'm asking you. You tell me.
I mean, I'll be honest, we do. I told you, we watch a lot of, like the live PD and stuff, so we look up a lot of, like, random things off of there that we see, but I don't see me looking up a poison. That's why I'm like, I don't know on that one. And in June, that's even more odd, so.
Yeah. A little concerning.
I mean, I'm not trying to poison myself. That's what you think.
No, I don't think you're going to poison yourself. I mean, you had that opportunity a while ago, right?
Yeah, plenty of times.
Okay. So what do you think about the whole situation, Jessy? Let me ask you.
I think it's a mess. I think it's all a big mess. I wish I knew things I know now differently than then. Or I wish I would have reached out or done a lot different, I guess, is where I'm at.
Like what?
Gotten more help, asked for more help, not helped her. I mean, a lot of things. If I could go back in history, I wouldn't be sitting here, I'll tell you that. That's honestly true.
Now, you've heard me talk. I've kind of beaten the stuff here about the perception issue.
Yeah.
You know, that's why we stress the importance of telling the truth the first time from the get-go, or even the second time. Okay.
No, I still think the first time's better.
The first time is better, but the second time is a key one because now that third time and now today, you know, so it's like. Nope, never saw the Visine. Nope, yes, there was Visine. Never drank it, never saw it. Yeah, I put some in there one time. You know, but then, nope, didn't know about this, or there was no way because it was in there. Okay, then there were 6 bottles in there. So, and now we hear this storage stuff. And it just, Jessy, whether you believe it or not, I don't want to sit here and I don't want to jack you up on these charges. I don't want to sit here and charge you with something that doesn't fit.
Yeah.
So I can't stress enough that if there's something that says, because helping somebody.
It's a lot different than actually doing it yourself.
Correct. 100%. So.
That's what I thought of this today too, and I thought you guys didn't take her phone either, her cell phone.
No.
And I thought of that after the fact too, and I'm like, I don't know if there would have been anything, because she couldn't internet search on there, but she used that phone numerous times when she called people prior, like when she was first getting her pills and things of that nature, when she was looking at other options that I didn't have access to. But I did think of that too. I was just trying to think of any. Honestly, while I've been sitting here, I've been racking my brain with everything possible. So that's kind of where I'm at. There was a lot of things that she said and done over such a big time frame that I just wish I had, I don't know, more information.
So I wish I had more information, Jesse. I really do. Did your mom know that she was drinking the Visine again?
Yeah. Oh, no. Drinking the Visine?
Yeah.
Or no.
No. Never.
She knew about the gun. No, she didn't know anything about the Visine. She knew about the gun. She knew about the pills. And she knew she was suicidal, but she didn't know to what extent. Because my mom, that was the first thing she said to her. Did you tell them about the gun? I said, yes, I did. So I said, I'm sure they'll ask you or they'll want to know something, but I said, you actually knew of that, so. Because she was very frustrated looking at that one.
Your mom was?
Yeah. And that's because my mom looks out. She loves Lynn, but she's going to look out for me, obviously, before Lynn, because, only makes sense, obviously.
Well, at this point, everybody should be looking out for themselves. I mean, you should be worrying about number one for you, and that's you, and that's your future. Nothing is set in stone right now. But unfortunately, Jesse, you're kind of in a little bit of a quicksand situation here. And I'm trying to offer you a branch here to say, prove to me and Chris and to Mandy and everyone else that you're saying you were trying to help her do this. And you have evidence that's there, Jesse.
The thing is I don't know what extent is there. That's what it is. I don't know how much is there or what is said or what was. I know she always said, that was her biggest thing. I'll be very honest. She said it all the time. When she first started her downhill spiral and said, I give up. I don't want to do this anymore. I don't want to be sick anymore. When she first started that, she said, one day out of the blue, she said, if I ever ask you for help, would you help me? And I said, what do you mean by that? And ever since that day, she kept saying it. And I said, Lynn, that's a lot to put on somebody. And her biggest worry was, never is going to come back on you. It can't come back on you. It can't come back on you. I don't want to hurt you. That's the last thing I want. She knows. Obviously, she did time. She knows I did time. She knows I'm on probation. That was her biggest thing, as she always said. Neither one of us are ever going back. I'll never go back. You're not going back. That was her biggest thing that she said. And that's what frustrates me, I guess, the most, is that I'm sitting here because I did help her. And I shouldn't have. I know that now, obviously. For me, it was very hard. How can you watch somebody over and over and over go through this and go through this? And you're there with them. You're helping them. You're trying. I mean, my last poll, I thought for sure when she went to the hospital, we'd finally get somewhere. I really thought. And we did for a little bit. I mean, a few days. And that was the other thing. You guys said the walking. I thought that last night. She walked into the hospital. They don't know how. But when we got home, she walked from my car. You've seen my car. You know my car. She was used to her car. She couldn't get that high. But my car was lower for her. She got out of my vehicle and walked by herself. She did have to stop quite a few times, but walked. You saw her place. You got to go all the way around. There's a step, but she never did the step. And she walked and made it in. That's why when she fell, it was her second or third night. There's just so many days and so much trying to remember back. But when she fell and June helped me, she was coming back from the bathroom. She was going to sit in the recliner. That's when she had the bathroom, but she was still getting up because she was trying to walk around as much as she could. And she was bending down and she missed the recliner. So she fell literally right in front of the recliner. Like she just missed it, obviously I wasn't there, but that's what she said she did. And you could see it, she was sitting in front of the recliner. She just couldn't, she didn't have enough strength to get herself up. So I mean, she did walk around. I don't want to make it seem like she never did. That was the other thing that I kept thinking is you guys seem like she was completely immobile. She wasn't. She had her good days and her bad days. But she did walk around, and every day she pushed herself, usually to go to the bathroom at least once if she could, because she knew she had to keep moving.
Okay. But then it comes back to, like you said, it can be explained one way. And when those deputies asked you, you said no. If she was suicidal.
I said yes and no.
You said yes and no, but then all you said was she really loved her cats, but you didn't say she's asked me to do this. She did this. She had a gun to her head. Looking into investigations then as compared to how it has now is two totally different things. I mean,
I think it was a lot harder for me that day to realize that it actually had happened. I think that, I'll be very honest, I didn't expect it. I did and I didn't. It was one of those things every day you never knew what was going to happen when you came back. Or when she didn't answer the phone, was she alive or dead? I don't know how many times I flew out there when she didn't answer the phone thinking, I'm going to find her. I'm going to find her.
But you left that day and you said you were concerned when you left.
I was always concerned, to be honest. It wasn't just that day. It was a lot of days.
Had she started drinking the water by the time you were getting ready to leave?
Mm-hmm. A little bit.
Okay. Did you see any effects taking place?
No. But she was on and off all morning as it was. No, there was no effects before I left. None whatsoever. I mean, she was a little bit drowsy, but that was always. That wasn't just from that. That was all the time. And I would say by the time I left, she had a few sips of it. I mean, it wasn't anything extreme. But that's usually how she was. Like, even when she drank regular, she would have a few sips. She'd take a break, and then she'd be like, oh, I need to get water in me. So she'd chug some, and she'd sip some, chug some. So, I mean, before I left, she only had a very little bit.
How full was it?
It was a full one.
It was completely full?
Yep.
Okay. So she would have poured out the water, and you said she did that 2 days prior, was that it?
I threw out the stuff 3 days prior. So I had it 3 days before.
So you were there when she put it in?
No, I was not.
The one you made you threw the stuff?
I came back the next day when I came back. So she had to do this actually 4 days because 3 days before is when I came back and emptied everything out. And that's when I said to her, I said, where did these all go? And then she had a bunch of waters and stuff, and I always took out the garbage. That was just part of my routine with the cat litter, the garbage. And I said, where did they all go? And she's like, oh, don't worry about it, like she always did, because she didn't want me knowing. And I knew she put them in her water a lot. Vodka she did on occasion, not extreme, but on occasion. And she liked it more, she said, with the vodka. I don't know why. She said it was a different feeling. Other than that, I don't know. But
what did you put it in?
What did I put it in?
Yeah,
the one time I did it?
No.
Oh, mine?
You did it yourself.
I didn't put it in anything.
I thought you said you did.
No.
You just drank it straight out of the bottle? What did it taste like?
Kind of oily. It smelled like, I guess, and I don't even have context. I just know because I've been around people that do. Like the contact solution. That's what it smelled like. Okay. But I shouldn't say, it was just had like a Slimer. It was different than water. I could know what's the difference.
You said it before that there was, that you got rid of all those bottles, right? You threw them away in the trash.
Yeah.
Okay. So in the storage shed, there's Visine bottles. Why would there be Visine bottles in the storage shed?
I have some with certain dates on them that she had taken them.
Okay. Why would there be dates on them?
She dated them.
She dated them?
Mm-hmm.
Why would she date them?
She did certain things where if something happened, there would be a way to come back and show she was taking it prior or so forth.
What dates would be on these?
They would be dates from the last, I'd say, month and a half, 2 months.
How many bottles?
Roughly, maybe about 20, or give or take. I know she had set them aside, and then they were just gone, because she had like a pile of stuff. She had pills in there, and those ended up gone. I'm trying to think what else. I could have swore there was something. Oh, the gun. I took the gun. But it's not, I took it apart. It's just 2 pieces. It's not, there's no bullets. You can't use it for anything where it's how it's sitting. But I wanted something, when she started making her pile of stuff, I wanted something so I could come back and say, okay, it's not just me that has a pile of stuff. She had a pile of things, and I want something to show. She really did order this. I have the receipts of that, and I have receipt of something else. And it has, like, all her shipping information, all her everything.
Was it her credit card you guys used to buy it?
Yeah, because she even talked to the lady. Because it had to be shipped to the same address that matched because it's a certain product. I don't know how to word it. Like, they don't consider it a firearm because it's not together. But she said something, I remember plain as day, and I can't remember the right wording. But she said, well, it has to go. And she's like, well, that's fine. It's coming to my house anyway. But that was, like, one of the things the lady, I remember, like, when she was talking with her.
So, you know, I know basics of that stuff, but I guess
I've never known to tell that.
I didn't know you could buy, like, part. I would have figured that they would have done some kind of background check either way. So
No.
What, they can get away with it because it's not put together, so it's not
yep.
technically a functioning firearm?
Yep.
So no
And
background.
she literally researched this and found 2 companies, and she wanted one that did, like, next day or 3 day or something. And they ship it immediately. Yeah, I've never heard of, I don't know how you buy firearms. I never thought you go to a store and you have to do a background check. I've never had one in my life, so I don't know how it works, even when I wasn't a felon.
You know, if you wrote a book about this, Jesse, somebody's mind would be blown, right? Right?
If you talk to her, like, and anybody who would talk to her would tell you this, they would be flabbergasted with the way she thought and worked and did things. Like, she was determined. Like, I want to say, like, 2 years ago. She was so determined that because back in the day, she used to do robberies and stuff, and she's like, I wish I could do that again and just find the person that has the best drugs. I mean, shit that came out of her mouth, she'd drink and she'd just ramble for 2 hours straight. Like, she'd call my mom or me, and, like, you could see call logs that were just, and half of it, you know what she was saying by the end of the conversation because she was trashed. And you're like, what are you? But she was all over the place. There was no rhyme or reason for half the shit she did, the way she did it. I mean, it didn't make sense. She also got up in the mornings and went and did her errands because she didn't like to see people. She stayed in her house a lot. Like, if you talk to her neighbors, she wasn't out. Before that, she was the party of the whole block. But after things changed, like 3 years ago, I want to say, is when she first developed these stomach issues, and they just never went.
But that's the thing that's curious is
Yep.
she was never diagnosed with any.
Nothing.
So why would she want to kill herself?
Because they couldn't figure out what it was, and she was tired of being sick. She didn't eat for months. And if she did, she got sick. It was either diarrhea or throwing up. She was to the point, I mean, this came from somebody who was healthy and did everything, went everywhere, to complete isolation, locked everyone out, blocked everything out. Her whole appearance changed. I mean, it was still her, but it wasn't her. She was so bloated. That was her biggest thing. And they always wanted her to do the one test she refused to do. Something with your blood, not to sound weird, but because they couldn't find anything and they kept saying maybe it's like the other end. And she refused. She didn't want to do it. And we're like, if you want to know why you're sick and they're not finding it, go somewhere else or have something else checked or do it. I remember in the hospital, they tried again. I think they partially were able to do it, or she just said, no, I can't remember. But she was, I mean, anybody who knew her neighbor told her, before I got her to go to the hospital, her neighbor said, you look like you're dead. You look like you're dead. And she said, I wish I was. That was how she was. She just didn't care. She was done fighting. She was done. I think she was mad because they weren't giving her answers. And to me, that didn't make sense because eventually somebody's going to find out something's wrong. I feel like, or they should have. But sure. I think a lot, I don't know how much you guys know about her medical records, or if you guys have gotten.
We got.
I know the last couple times they would never admit her. She had something on her chart because she screamed about this. They were saying something that something about her being seeing somebody, and she wasn't ever. She never saw anybody that she recalls. So I don't know where that came from.
And you would take her to the doctor. You would
Yep.
want to take her to the doctor, and
I mean, once in a while, I think Jean might have taken her like once or twice, or Judy. I mean, prior, I wasn't always taking her at the beginning because I couldn't always. And then she'd take herself sometimes too. But I know some of them, like she needed a ride or she'd call or whatever. Because I did talk to the doctors quite a bit. Because she'd tell them, oh, I'm eating, I'm doing this. And I'm like, no, she's not. I don't know why she's telling you that, but she's not. Or she's telling she wasn't drinking. I'm like, yeah, she is.
what did you said that really bothered you about what Chris said yesterday?
At the end, because he said, you owe this to her. I feel like I don't owe this to her. She owes it to come out and say that I didn't do this. Or that I don't do it. She can't. I know she can't. But it made me feel like I felt I got a really bad read from him when he said that. Like, I just didn't like the way that portrayed me, because then I thought, well, now you're making me feel like I murdered her, and I didn't. I have a very strong conviction about that. I did not murder her, and I couldn't murder her. I understand. I helped. I bought it. But in my mind, she knew what she was drinking. She took it. I didn't force her to take it. I didn't pour it down her mouth. None of that. And that's where I have a hard time.
Well, I want you to think about real quick, so I step out for a second.
Yeah.
I want you to think about something. You said that Lynn can't do that.
Can't do it.
Can't tell us. Can't talk to us.
I know.
Actually, you're telling us she can. You're telling us that you have.
Oh,
you're telling us that you have proof that she did say that. So you actually have it in your hands, Jesse, that you can prove that to us. Just think about that for a second, okay? Did you think about anything?
Yeah.
Okay. And what did you think about this?
I get what you're saying. I get it a lot.
But still status quo?
Yeah.
Still don't want to offer this proof that could help vindicate you?
Not
Or
yet.
at least prove that you were trying to help her and that you were doing what she wished?
Not yet.
Yeah, I understand how this looks, right, kid?
I do.
All right, Jesse.
Can I ask you, what, so you were able to recover stuff from my phone. Did you find anything about that gun or any of the other companies?
We're working on. We haven't had a chance to go through everything. I mean, like Chris
You
said.
got me wondering about the June thing. I'm like, really, like.
Yeah, no. There's definitely poison searches in June of 2019.
Yeah, I don't. Was it for a particular poison? That's what I'm wondering.
Well, how about any poison?
Well, no, because I don't know, like, was it like a child, like, eating something?
No.
So that's why I'm trying to, like, check, I'm like, I don't understand that. So, I'm trying to think what it was.
Okay. All right. Then I guess we're kind of done. I mean, I'm stressed. Well, I could sit here all night and talk to you, Jesse. I really could.
I know. Can we just do this like every day? It gets me off for a little bit.
But I mean, we're kind of going round and round at this point. I mean, I want to give you the benefit of the doubt that is what happened, but we need to figure something out. And right now, you're basically saying you have evidence.
And she didn't have any paperwork there besides, I mean, obviously you guys showed me the one thing, but there was nothing laying around for anything. That's what I was curious and hoping maybe, but.
Sure, a suicide note would have been interesting.
Yeah.
No suicide note.
No, I don't.
So that's it. We don't want to. You're still standing firm with this, huh?
I mean, it's not that I'm not going to give it up. It's just, I just don't know right now.
Well, Jesse, I guess I know it's hard, but in the same aspect, I mean, your ass is on the line.
Yeah.
Your future. This is your life. If there's shit in there about your probation, I mean...
No. The only thing, she wrote down what I know what she had. She wrote down, information on, when she first started getting sick. Wrote down how she was suicidal, she was asking for help, things like that. She wrote down something of that nature. I didn't read it, so I don't know the full extent. She talked about it with me. Because she said, I'm doing this as like a liability, whatever. And then there was something about, she had something from, this was a while back, it was like a ledger, that she had like to like show stuff about money in case it was ever an issue. Those are the two things that I know she had, that she had done on her own, like, and that she put in a certain spot that has stayed there. The gun and the drops was something I did separately because I just felt, you know, if it ever came down to it, I have something that shows her handprints on something, obviously, and she was alive. You know, that was my thing. As far as what more, I don't know to an extent. I know she had always talked about a tape. I don't know because I never saw it, so I don't know. And then, I feel like I'm missing something. I just don't know what it is right this second. Oh, I had some receipts. That's what I had.
What receipts?
They were from when she purchased the gun, and I had other ones, and I don't know what exactly they were offhand. I don't know if I saved them from the Visine or something else. I don't know offhand, to be honest. But I know I had more than one thing. It wasn't just
what could are you? Is there something in that you think could lead to new charges?
No, not at all.
Then absolutely. Why in the world don't you want to say, here, help? This can help me. Show it to us. Show us that.
Do you want to know my biggest reason I'm saving it?
I would love to, because I'm really curious right now.
Because I'd like it to get me out.
Okay.
That's what I'd like.
Okay.
Check her Bemis Harris. Her BMO Harris bank.
Okay.
She has a black box.
I thought you said this was a storage shed.
That's where she put her items. No.
This is a BMO Harris lockbox now.
Correct. I didn't give any specifics for a reason.
You said a storage shed.
I said it's not in my name.
So in a lockbox, there is a gun.
No.
There is. Where's the gun?
I said she has her stuff and I have my stuff.
Okay, so here's the.
Okay.
All right, so let's
I don't want to put everything out there because I don't.
Jessy, you need to put it out
I
there
know,
now. Now
but
is
there
the
was a
time
reason
because your ass is on the line.
I was telling you.
Your ass is
I get
on
it.
the line. This is your future. This is the difference between Jessy possibly going home after a revocation or possibly facing
I get it.
reduced stuff.
But I wanted to talk to somebody about it. That's why I didn't want to give too much information because I feel like the more I give, the easier it is for you guys to figure it out.
But it's not.
This
isn't a game of I scratch your back,
No,
you scratch mine. This
and
is.
I'm not saying that.
But you are a little bit because this is stuff that you're saying can help you.
Yeah.
It's time to bring it out, and
Yeah.
it's not a matter of us calling Julie saying, "Hey, do this." I'm telling you right now,
Harris
Jessy.
black box is the one that I'm most concerned about. The other one, I'm not too concerned, but you guys wouldn't find it without me.
What do you mean you wouldn't find it without you?
It's hidden. Done. Hidden.
I thought you said it was a storage shed. Jessy.
I never gave you specifics.
You said
I
it was a storage
put away
shed.
on
You said a
something.
storage shed. You said a storage shed, not in my name.
Because I didn't want to give you all the information. Why? I told you I was holding it for a reason. That's why I'm holding it. It's the one thing I got.
This isn't a game. You
I
know that, right?
That's why
this
I'm
isn't a game.
telling you right now.
This is life. This is
I'm
real
telling
life.
you right now. So go check both those.
Go check the lockbox?
Yep.
In what spot?
It's her lockbox. In her name.
And what about the shit that you
Emo
need?
Harris it's the one on, I don't know if it's Waukesha or Pewaukee because I'm not real good with that's the one I'm most concerned with, because we lost her key. We lost that a while ago. It is on fucking street. I can see it, but I'm not silvering. No, that's one by your house. If you're, Do you know where EN Clinics is? I know it doesn't sound weird. I used to work there. That's why I can best describe it.
What is it called?
Barker and Blue Mountain.
Yeah.
So if you take, I'm trying to like think of the right directions and not go with directions. I go by parking things. So if you get off on Barker and Blue Mountain and you come up, what's that first main road at the lights right now? Big intersection.
Barker and Blue Mountain.
Yeah. I'm assuming it's Blue Mountain, but I don't know 100%. And if you take that to your left, all the way down, I think that turns into Pewaukee, doesn't it? There's a BMO Harris right there, across from like car dealerships. Do you know what I'm talking about?
I'm gonna look it up real quick.
There's another bank on the corner too, SunTrust or so I don't know offhand. I just know there's a bank. But it's right where she bought her Jeep. There's a car dealership, like 3 of them right there, or 2 maybe, I don't know. That's where she always kept.
So there's one over on Pewaukee Road? No, that's not it.
I don't know for sure. I know, like, I'm just not good with. It's right across the street, and they just redid the intersection. I want to say you take Barker down, and it turns, like if you're on, or Blue Mountain, I mean, sorry, I'm not good with directions, you guys, but I know exactly what I'm
Capital?
talking about, but
Capital?
what's around it, do you know?
There's that park that's right there, and the car dealerships
Okay,
there, and
then
Capital and
Probably.
Barker.
Is the car dealership like across the street?
From the bank?
Yeah, because the bank's like this way, you turn in right, and there's a car dealership, like 2 of them left.
Okay, so there's Barker, there's Capital, Park, and then there's banks right there.
I think so. I'm almost positive. And what city is that one?
That's
I didn't know if it was
that,
Waukesha or Pewaukee, because it's like.
that's either going to be Pewaukee or technically Brookfield.
Okay. Then that should be it, because Brookfield is where I'm familiar, because she's had me meet her there like twice, from when I used to work off the Barker Blue Mountain. I know I've seen it, but I'm not good with streets.
And what about the stuff you have, Jessy? Why wouldn't you want us to help you?
I do want you to help me. I'm not. My thing is I want to get out. I need to talk to an attorney.
But
now
remember what you said, so I'm going to ask you again.
No.
Your word.
I'm here.
Okay, but remember what you just said, though. So are you invoking? I'm going to ask you. Are you invoking your rights?
No.
You understand what you're saying?
I know.
And
I
don't want to violate your rights.
You're not.
All right.
I'm not
You're not invoking your rights.
I'm not saying right this second.
You want to speak to somebody about this issue?
Yes.
About the stuff you
Not
said
even
there.
so much the stuff. It's just the whole case. But I felt like this is all I had to hang on to right now. That's.
Okay,
You know what I mean?
Just to clarify, you're not invoking your rights right now.
I'm not.
So you don't want to tell us where you buried this stuff.
No, I'll tell you.
Where'd you bury it?
It's in Whitnell Park.
Whitnell Park.
That's where my bunny used to be buried. It's behind my mom's apartments. I know. But I'm telling you. Well, I didn't want to put it. My original plan was a storage. That's why I said storage. Because that's what I wanted to do, but I didn't want to pay for storage. But I thought, well, I should be able to find it if I ever need it.
Where in Whitnell Park, other than where your bunny is?
So if you were to take, you know where my mom lives, obviously. Did you go?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
So if you keep going down, you know how that turns into Whitnell Park, and there's that hill goes down. And there's that Ware Nature Center.
Okay, so I'm gonna show you here.
Yep.
Okay.
And I could.
So there's Country Apartments,
yep.
Right? There's your mom. Now there's Whitnell Park.
Okay. So when you first hit, is this the beginning of Whitnell Park, the green?
Yes.
When you first hit that versus my mom's apartment, there's a hill and it goes down to Ware Nature Center. It is literally 10 feet behind the apartments at the beginning of the park. And it is in about 30 feet.
So there's the apartments, right?
Yep.
Right here?
Yep.
Right
Like,
here.
there's a stop sign right there before you go down the hill, I believe. But it's literally.
Go to the park?
Yep. It's 10 minutes or 10 feet into the park and 30 over to your right. So if you're coming in from my mom's and going into the park that way.
So we're not going to go fully into the park. There's a stop sign right here.
I think it's right there. It might be right before. I don't want to quote me.
Okay.
She just moved in these apartments.
So basically the Punky
it's
apartment.
literally like 10 feet into the park and 30 feet over on your right hand side. So you're pretty much in Whitnellback or in the apartment's backyard. Not hers, but those apartments.
How deep is it buried?
I would say maybe 4 feet.
Are there any markings?
No. I had to put a stone on it, but I mean nothing other than
What
that.
do you mean you had her put a stone on it?
I had put a stone on it. Not her.
Is it still there?
She wasn't with me. I've never went back. I've never had a reason to go back until this. I almost asked my mom today to do it, but I didn't.
When'd your bunny die?
Oh my god, I was little. We lived in those apartments years ago. That's why I picked that spot.
Because your mom just kind of moved back there recently,
Yes,
right?
yeah.
Okay.
We lived there when I was maybe 4 to 6, and she was remarried.
Okay.
And that's why I thought that spot, to be honest, because
So-
my money's buried, or was buried around there.
So there's Highway 100.
Yep.
You make that left on the college. You
Yep.
pass your own apartments. So right there's the
You
end of
don't
the
turn in her apartments, you just keep going
Yep.
straight.
But so it would be on the right hand side,
Correct.
right? So
Yep.
we would get out and walk
Yep.
to the right.
Yep.
Okay.
And it's about, there's woods and stuff. It does get muddy and swampy certain times of the year. It wasn't when I went. I did this literally before she even passed. So, and it was all together in 3 Ziploc bags.
Or is it in a box or anything?
Nope.
Or it's just
3 Ziploc bags. I
Ziploc
just kept
bags.
Ziploc bagging it, and then the freezer bags.
And how far down?
I would say about 4 to 5 feet.
4 to 5 feet?
Yep.
Are you kidding me?
4? I don't know. I guess.
4 feet?
Hold on.
You understand? You're
Maybe
just
not.
over 4 feet.
Okay, like this. What is this? I'm not good with
Okay,
stuff.
and me 2? Okay, hold on. 4 feet.
Yeah, I guess you're right. That is like my
Anyone stop?
You give me 4 to 5
5
feet.
there or something?
I'm one of those people sometimes, like, I'm better, like, with roads. Like, I can tell you roads, but I can show you. Yeah, I guess that's true. I'm 5'5". I was thinking digging-wise, okay, if you were to, like...
Okay, then what's going to be in there, Jesse? What is going to be
That
in there?
is the 2 pieces of the gun.
Okay,
The rest of it was thrown in the garbage.
okay,
There's some Visine,
okay.
and roughly, I'm going to say about 20 bottles. I would say with 3 different dates. I don't know the dates, though.
Okay.
But I did it a few times. This was stuff I had collectively put together for time in a Ziploc bag in my trunk under the tire for a while. Or, like, under the mat.
Okay.
I was debating on what to do with it or where to go with it. I didn't want to get rid of everything.
All right.
And then there's receipts.
That's right.
Yep.
All right, ma'am. You put X on the spot. Because that's a damn fine.
But I know the park very well.
Okay.
Alright, so
So
trying to figure out
there's
the
Plum Tree,
Okay.
there's college.
this is the road, right?
Yep, college.
Yeah, sorry. So I'm gonna say it's like 10 feet in. Wait,
Or is it 30 feet in or 10
wait,
feet?
what did I say? Hold on. I gotta let me do it. No.
Because these are the tops of
I
the
know, that's what's throwing me off right now. I gotta look at this way even though I came from the other way.
That's fine.
I'm gonna say like, and I'm guessing obviously feet wise, it's 10 feet from there, 30 feet from there. Guessing. That's what I'm.
All right, so I mean, is it like directly in back of
Literally, yes.
the second
Like,
apartment? Those
Yeah,
second
like
complexes right
that
there?
building back there, that main one.
So that first building right there.
Yeah, okay. No, I'm right. I had to like, now I'm looking at backwards, so I'm getting going on. Yes. My money is probably over there somewhere.
Is this the building you lived in when
No.
you were little?
No. No, actually, we lived way in the front, and my mom lives around here somewhere now.
Okay. So,
I just grew up in this park.
so there's 1, 2, 3 different things over there.
Yeah.
I mean, it's in.
It's in the first, not this building, but the first one there.
The first section
Yeah.
or the second
It's
building?
gotta be like the first or in between the first and second, but yes.
Okay.
Because they're not like huge, like patios. Like, well, they are, but aren't, you know.
All right, so we're going to go
And
take a
it's
look at things, Jesse.
3, literally like one Ziploc, another Ziploc, and another.
Like all on top of each other in the same
Yes.
hole?
Yes. No.
Wait.
No, I mean, yeah, I'd say no, each bag is inside of each other.
Oh,
Like I put in one, do you get what I'm saying? Yeah, they're all in one, but I like triple bagged it.
okay.
And then I wanted to tell you too about the People Harris account. So that picture you showed me the other day, the one that was signed by Lynn and me at BMO Harris,
Oh, okay. Yeah.
that's when she put in papers in her lockbox that said, if you ever need these, that same day.
Okay.
And that's when she put in her stuff. So I know that for a fact. When she passed away, I went there once with my mother. And all we took was the rolled tube that she told us to take. It was in her list of directions when she passed away. And then there was still more stuff that we didn't touch. And then we lost the keys, so we never went back.
So
And me, Mom, and Anthony are all on the lockbox.
Okay.
But I wanted to tell you that because you were out of the room and I was thinking of everything, so I didn't forget anything. Did not tell you something.
Fair enough. Fair enough. All right. So,
You want me to take?
yeah, are you okay?
Yeah. I'll run her back up if you're gonna.
Yeah.
No, one second.
Yeah, that's fine.
I thank you.
All right, so we're not going to come back in here. We'll end it for today.
Yes.
Fair enough.
Yes, unless you have anything
Now,
else you think
now let me ask you something.
Yes,
I'm going to leave it up to you.
yes,
If we want to talk to you again, are you okay with us coming
Yes.
and talking to you?
yes.
Okay.
You can come and get me every day because
Okay. So let's try to wing over.
I really don't like cold water.
I know. I'm telling you.
Can I just say yes to all, or do you still have to say it right?
I don't really want more than that.
I probably have it memorized, so I don't, but I should.
Yes.
I don't even know.
And it's 128.
Middle's R, right, Jessy?
Yes.
All right, you have the right to remain silent. Anything you say will be used against you in court. You know, understand that? You have the right to talk to a lawyer before a question and have him or her present during questioning. You understand?
Yes.
If you cannot afford a lawyer, one will be appointed for you before questioning if you wish. Do you understand? You can decide at any time to exercise these rights and not answer any questions or make any statements. You understand?
Yes.
Do you understand all the rights I read to you?
Yes.
Fully understanding the above rights, you're still willing to talk to me without the presence of an attorney?
Yes.
It's 16th.
7:16.
And just 1:30 for the time. It's fine. Thank you. All right, Jessy. So,
Some good news, please. Some good news. I need some good news.
what would be good news? I don't think I have any good news. I'm trying.
Did you make it to the post office or to?
The post office box is empty. So you forwarded your mail, and you even paid it in the post office box.
I forwarded my mail.
Yeah, did you forward your mail to Scott's house?
A while back, yeah.
Yeah, but you still have stuff going to the post.
Post box, but not that. I'm talking about the BMO Harris box.
Oh, the BMO, okay. BMO Harris, yeah, there's nothing in it.
Nothing.
Nothing. We had to get a warrant. And it took us, it was a debacle getting into that thing, but we got into it, and there was nothing in there. Little stone, some fake stone, or even just, I'm not saying fake, but just stone.
I don't know anything about stuff.
So what do you think about that?
Would they change the lockbox key yet?
I don't know, we drilled the hole. They didn't say anything about changing that key or anything.
Did they tell you last time anybody was there?
We're still waiting to find out, but nobody's been there for months.
Yeah. Last time me and Mom went there was when she died. That was it. The day after.
Okay.
And nobody's been there since.
That you know of.
Yeah.
And either you or your mom had the key.
Yeah. And I don't think Anthony has one, but he'd be the only other person on the lockbox, so I'm pretty sure he doesn't have a key.
So who had keys?
Lynn had a key, and then I had a key.
And what did you do with Lynn's key?
We couldn't. Oh, I don't know. We never found it.
Okay.
I never found mine afterwards. That's why I contacted them, because I said I have to have the lock changed because I can't access it. And the last time I went there, I wrote a check, and they said they'd be in touch, and never went any further. And that was, I don't know, March, April maybe.
So when you and Jennifer went there, what was in there? When did you remember seeing it again?
We took out a roll. That's what she had instructions of what we were supposed to take out, and it was a rolled up paper, and it just gave instructions what to do, and then she had more stuff in the back, and I knew from prior because she said that's what stays there if you ever need it.
And what was it?
I don't know exactly what it was. I know she had something marked down with stuff about money. She had some kind of statement she wrote when she first asked for help, stating if you ever got in trouble or if anything ever came out, it's there for you. And then she had, she said she had something on tape. I don't know. I never saw it, so I don't know. That's all I know. I don't know anything about a diamond or fake diamond, or I don't know anything about that.
And this was the box in Lynn's name, right?
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah, I never had a safety deposit box ever. My P.O. box, I've had that for a long time. And what about her?
We went there. Couldn't find it. It's a little bit bigger of an area than we thought.
So, okay, that's for me.
We went there that night. A bunch of us went. You have a better general description on where, I mean, I know you gave me your best,
I don't without, I mean, if I was there, I'd probably be able to help, and I know I can't go there, I'm not asking that. I need you to find that. I don't have anything else. That's it, that's all I have.
Where's the storage shed, Jessy? I know there's a storage shed.
There isn't, I swear to God, there's not a storage shed. I put on everything. I just said that because I thought by saying that would help me get out. I swear to you on everything, there's no storage shed. I put my life on it, in nobody's name, not in mine. I've never had one except for a long time ago, and my stuff was in there when I went to prison the first time. I've never had one since. I swear to God, I'm not lying. There is no storage shed. I would tell you in a heartbeat. That's all I had was those two spots. And the one I didn't even have, that was hers.
Now, what happened to your key for the deposit box?
When me and Mom went there that day, I don't know, we had so much stuff of Lynn's, and it got, I don't know, we don't know, we never found it. Never found it. Even Mom said the same thing. She kept asking me, I talked to the bank like 4 times, and I said, I can't find it. They said, well, just hang on until you empty out her condo and keep looking. I've looked everywhere. We can never find it. I've never been back. I swear to you, I mean, they'll know that. You'll know that when you look at the records. I can't find it.
Tell me again, what was in the bag that was buried?
There were 2 pieces of the gun, not the full gun, just 2 pieces. There was some eye drops from, I want to say like 2, maybe 3 times, just a few bottles each from different dates. And there was a receipt. That was it.
And what were the receipts again?
The receipts were for the gun, and I don't even know. I think I might have had, it was for the gun, I know that. And I don't know what else. There was other receipts that I saved. I don't know if I ever saved anything from, I don't know. I really don't know. I know for sure there was a receipt from the gun. And I know I had these 2 spots, like the one Lynn had, and I did my own, and I always thought, I always have backup. I have something. I have something. And after telling me I have nothing, and that's all I have. Oh, I get to get to this, I know. I need something good today.
So does your mom know about the stuff that was buried in the backyard or in the back in the woods right there?
No. I told her briefly about the other day, but I wouldn't tell her where or anything. I just told her it's at the park. That's all I said because I didn't want to tell her so she didn't create a problem.
So she didn't go digging it up herself?
No, I know she didn't.
No, I'm just saying you didn't want her to? Is that it?
No, because I wanted you guys to find it. She was mad because she said she wanted to go with you guys, but that was it. She doesn't have any idea where.
Why did she go with us?
Because she just said, I feel comfortable if I'm with, so I can at least see what they find. I'm not saying you would. I didn't think that. That's why I didn't tell her. I didn't need more of a problem because she would create more of a problem like she always does with everything. I was waiting to hear this all weekend. I thought for sure.
Were the metal, the gun parts, were they metal?
I don't know, they were black. You order it from the company.
Do you remember what company?
I know, like, you pulled out a computer and looked online. I was sure I could figure out one of them, but I don't offhand. I don't know. I mean, I would assume it's metal. It was black. I know that. I don't think it'd be plastic. I don't know. I mean, I can picture it. I can see it, but I don't know what it was made of. I know she had to actually do some filing on it and some stuff to it, but I want to say part of it had to be metal.
Okay. And you bought that, or she bought that with, using your phone?
My phone.
And her credit card.
Correct.
Do you remember how many cards were being used while she was alive, Jesse?
How many?
Yeah.
Offhand, maybe 12 to 14.
Now, were you an authorized user on most of those accounts?
I think so. I don't know.
Okay.
I mean, she always gave me permission to use them.
Okay.
I don't know that she added it on all of them. I honestly don't know.
Okay. So when you would do stuff, or when you go to the store where you buy her stuff,
Yeah.
would she just give you the card?
Yeah.
So you didn't have like a second card in her name?
No.
So you were just using the original card?
She would give me whatever one she wanted me to use. And she just changed it up because, like I told you, she kept sticky notes and she liked to switch things up. She didn't always use the same card for things.
And she was on food stamps too?
Yeah.
Okay. Was that for the disability, or was she technically disabled?
No, she wasn't.
Okay.
After she went to prison, she was never the same. Her mind was just gone, and she got it.
So when you walk in the park, do you know that we're talking about the same area, that there's like a little nature trail right there, right? Now, if I'm on college, and I'm walking, like this is, let's say your mom's building's right here, okay?
Yeah.
And this starts the preserve.
Yeah.
There's a trail right here. Where you buried it, is it on this side or this side? Is it on the right side?
Yeah, it'd be on the right side.
Okay, on the right side.
Yep.
Yeah, the problem is, I mean, we did as much as we could without making a total scene, but there were a lot of rocks, a lot of stuff that, you said there was possibly a rock, but a lot of rocks.
When I went there was a lot of rocks.
Okay.
There was like bigger boulder kind of rocks, and then there was obviously
I
like
remember.
smaller landscaping kind of style rocks.
Yeah.
Are you talking about the bigger boulder
No.
style, or like a smaller rock
just a
that you?
smaller rock I put on top. It was probably maybe my hand size. I mean, it wasn't huge. It was just.
And then back there too, there's kind of like some decorative fencing areas. Where the fences are just kind of like linked in lane. Is it by anything in specific?
No.
Because we did go off of the two buildings that you were telling us on, that rough location on the map. And there is, I mean, the whole area kind of looks the same.
Yeah.
There's.
I know, that's, it always did. It's been the same since I can remember.
How far off that trail do you think it was?
Maybe a few feet. I mean, it wasn't anything extreme.
So it was closer to the trail than it was to the apartments?
I would say at most 5 feet off the trail. Yeah, I would think it would be closer to the trail than the apartments. Without looking.
So those two buildings, I know when we talked on Friday, you were saying it would be like from the stop sign, you would go about 30 feet down and then maybe 10 feet back. So the two buildings that we were kind of working off of are significantly further than 30 feet in.
Then it has to be the first building. I just know it was roughly about, I wasn't paying attention to the buildings. I was assuming looking at the map, but I know when I walked it, I know it was roughly, I would guess, 30 feet, no more. I mean, I didn't go huge in there, so I don't know if it was that first building then, the one that's off the map. I'm going by what I saw on the map. I know when I used to go in the park, I mean, I didn't pay attention to the buildings. I know the grass, you know, where the grass starts and where the mud starts. And I know, plain as day, I used to always go through the same area, always. I mean, I've done this since I was a kid. And our bunny is buried, like, further in more the other direction, like the other side. And I just went right along the path, and I went just over a little bit. That's exactly what I did.
What time of day did you bury it?
This was middle of the day, I would say probably, like, I'm guessing here, maybe, like, noon to 2.
Again, before or after she died?
This was 2 weeks before she died. Roughly. I mean, I'm not saying 2 weeks to the day, I don't. I know she was in the hospital when I did it. I know that. And there, I mean, I give you my word on everything. There is no storage. There is none. I just said it because I thought by saying that give me some legway. There is no storage. There's nothing to joke around about. There is no storage. I'm telling you. I mean, this is all I have left. I'm willing to give you anything if I have it. I don't have anything else. And I was so sure you'd get something from the box. I was sure of it. I can't take much more of this. I'm at the point where I'm telling you everything I can. I'm willing to do anything I can. I didn't do this. I didn't kill her. I did not kill her.
You played a role, Jeff.
All I did was buy it. That's all I did. I bought it. And for that, I'm looking at murder.
You gave her the bottle.
It was the bottle she wanted. She knew what it was.
So did you. You knew, Jesse. You knew what it was.
She knew what it was. It was her doing.
So did you, though. So did you.
But that doesn't make it right.
On both ends, it doesn't make it right. Unintended consequences. And you know what? You can't even say it was unintended because you knew that Lynn had looked it up and said that it could kill you. It could kill her. And you knew that. And you knew she said that, and you knew that had 6 bottles in there. And you were worried about it. You thought that possibly could have happened.
You know, I keep playing back everything in my head, and you guys keep saying, I staged it. I staged it. Why didn't I take that bottle? Why didn't I take that bottle? I would have taken that bottle. And if you guys would have taken it, you would have known I never opened the bottle. There's no prints of me opening that bottle.
Well, your prints be on it because you just said you gave it to her.
I know, but they'd be on the bottle, not opening it. I've never touched the top of it.
You say that though, Jesse. You say if you did this, if you did that.
I know, because
but you didn't tell.
It's one of those things. All you can do is go back and say, if I would have. I can't change what happened. I can't go back. Trust me, if I could, I'd do a million things differently. A million. I wouldn't be sitting here right now at all.
Agreed.
I mean, what more is there I can do? What more can I show you or try or give you because I'm there. I'm so there.
I don't know. I don't know if we are there. I mean, we're trying.
I know.
But every day, Tuesday through Friday, we got different stories, Jesse. I talked to you on Thursday and I told you the importance of telling us the truth and how the perception of what you tell us, how it looks later on. And then Friday you tell us all this other stuff that you didn't tell us before. I'm telling you right now, I don't know what to think. I want to know the truth. I want to know every detail. And I'm not
Any
sure
way,
we're there.
any possible way. I'm not doing it to try to fraud her. I'm doing it to try to save my own ass. Is there any way, like, I can go to the park, or I can see video while you're at the park and help point you? Something, anything. I'm trying here. I'm trying so hard. This is my last saving grace.
We might be able to try and figure something out. But in the meantime, I want to know every other detail that you think you've left out so far to us about this whole thing. From finances to credit cards to who's doing this and who's doing that. I want to know every single detail.
Okay, ask
What
me.
have you done? What do you think? What have you left out? What have you left out? You've been thinking about it. You got no.
I know, but I can't think of what I left out. I can't think like that. Like, what do you mean? What did I leave out? Ask me and I'll tell you, but I don't know what you're getting
Who filled
at.
out the applications for loans in those last few months?
For loans?
Yeah.
I'd fill them out with her next to me. Right next to me.
Okay. Why did you
But there was none towards the end that we did. The last of them that we did were, I want to say, 3 months before she died.
Yeah, so the last few months of her life.
Well, I say
Why were they denied?
Because of her income, because of how much she had out there, as far as what she already had, debt-wise, and the one for the house, I don't remember what they said on that one. I think it was income too, to be honest.
Ever anyone being denied because there were suspicious numbers or numbers used?
Not that I know of. I know when me and her did Wells Fargo, which was way before, they had something with the address maybe? I don't remember. It was something, I don't want to say numbers though, but it was something, they had said something else and they called and talked to her.
That thing was fraudulent activity?
I don't know if they thought it, I honestly don't know offhand. That one was a while ago and we did so many afterward. But they spoke to her directly, so I don't know. I think there may have been one or two that questioned who it was or so forth, but she always talked to anybody. Always. Anytime there was an issue or they questioned something that I know of, that she talked to them. When she got stuff in the mail, she'd call them back on it. Right? Because she did get stuff in the mail too. I intentionally was not taking any money from her without her giving it. I didn't take out any loans in her name, nothing. I can honestly say I did not do that.
What about that one check where she writes out a significant amount, thousands of dollars to you, and says it's for the IRS for you?
A lot of the checks that she wrote me, most of them, well, I should say at the very beginning, were to pay off creditors. She always put something in the memo line, and her reasoning was because if anybody came back on it, we can say there's something there. A lot of them, she basically, 3 of them that she wrote, we went shopping with, both of us. And she always said if she wrote it in her own name, it would do something with her, she got money from the state and from Social Security and from her WIC. So she always moved her money very carefully, especially from her money market to her checking and so forth. But I never took $1 from her. I never wrote one check. I swear to God, I never wrote one check. I can say that quickly.
You never signed her name.
No. I mean,
So a handwritten expert
on a credit card, yes, obviously, because she gave me permission. But on an actual check, did I ever sign her name unless it was for a bill? No. Only for bills. And that was when I was right next to her in the hospital. She had me write out. Some of them we wrote and some we called. But those were the only checks I ever wrote from her account. Ever. I can honest to God say she always wrote her checks. Up until literally when she was in the hospital. She had me write a few for bills. I didn't write one to myself. Not one. I can say that without a doubt in my mind because I know I did. I've never sold money from her. Ever. I never had a reason to. She always gave it to me. Never.
Give me that. You guys, you have anything anyway.
Just to clarify, when you said something about the checks, she said something would happen if she wrote the check out to herself or to you.
She was always worried if she wrote, like if she took out too much money at a time or wrote out a check to her, she was always worried because she got state money. I don't know the right wording for it. But she got money from the state and money for food stamps. So they were always like every couple of months she had to like verify her money. And she was always worried about that because if there was ever like too much like going into her name or coming back to her, or if she was withdrawing too much to her. I don't know what, Social Security or disability, one of those. Whatever one she got, I don't remember. But that's what she was always concerned about because they monitor like the same with food share.
And she got food share too?
Mm-hmm.
How much did she get in food share?
Offhand, I don't know. I don't remember. I want to say it was like maybe like 160 to like 220, something in there. I don't remember offhand. And that was monthly.
And how is food share? Is it on a card?
It's on the card.
Did she ever give you
Yep.
the card?
That's the one that I keep telling them to look at. Because the last like 3 months when she was so sick and wasn't shopping, whenever I go and get water or anything, or she'd be like, oh, go and get groceries, go and get whatever you guys need because I'm not using it. And the day she died, I actually was at Pick and Save with her card. That's why I keep asking them to look for it, and they haven't been able to access it yet or whatever because we were looking for a time frame. Because I said, I know for sure I used her card that day. I'm positive of it.
And you didn't just always use it for her groceries? You
No.
used it for
For mine. Yep, she always told me to because she didn't have anything. Literally, she bought water and like toilet paper and stuff. Other than that, there was nothing. She didn't buy food. She wasn't eating. So, I mean, before that, yeah, we'd go to the store together and she'd get like what she needed and what I needed. And then it went for like, I want to say like almost 2 months it wasn't used at all. And that's when she said, go to the store and get what you need because I haven't used it, blah, blah, blah. And I knew she didn't use it, obviously, if she was at the store. I would take her to the store, so I knew that. But
what Pick and Save do you think you were at the last time?
I could have swore it was the one on Highway 100, and they don't think it's that one. I thought it was the one in Highway 100 House Corners. If it's not that one, it's the one in Highway 100 National. Those are the two I always went to. Unless I was with her, then I went to the one out by her house off of, I think that's Silvernail Road. It's the one right by her house. But I can't tell you for sure. I just know it's on the other side of the freeway from her house.
But you don't think the last time you used it?
No, I know I did because I went either to Walmart or Woodman's. I can't remember exactly, but I went to a few places the day she died, and I thought my statement said I just said errands. Because that's one thing I keep wanting to look at my cards to see where I all went that day because I know for sure I went to Pick and Save, but I know I went somewhere else too, and I think it was probably Walmart, but I don't know for sure. I thought possibly Woodman's, but I don't know.
And used her food share or used your cards?
I used my card for the regular stuff, for Walmart or whatever, or the balance at Pick and Save or whatever.
So how much do you think you spent when you went to Pick and Save?
Honestly, I don't know. I want to say it was probably like $200-300. That's normally what I spend when I go grocery shopping.
What time of day were you there?
It was in the afternoon. I thought it was somewhere like maybe 2-ish, 1-ish.
And then if you would have gone to Walmart, what Walmart would you have gone to?
Highway 100.
Hey, real quick. I talked to my boss.
Yeah.
I put my neck out there. Okay? He's willing to send some people out there. We can try and FaceTime it. I'm not sure we're going to be able to bring it up on the television, but at the very minimum, it'll be a FaceTime on the phone. But don't fuck around here,
I'm
Jessy.
not.
You better not be
I
bullshit.
swear to God,
stuff in
this
there.
is the only thing I have left right now to count on. And I swear, I know I buried it, and I know I buried it roughly, it was 2 weeks before she died. I know that for
So you're telling me these detectives go out there on a FaceTime and they walk the route you took you think you're going to be able to tell? Do you really think that?
I'm hoping so. I'm hoping more than anything. I can't say 100%, but I'm hoping. I mean, it should be just as good as being there.
I certainly hope so. I don't want to send these guys on.
It's
almost 100 degrees outside, digging holes.
It's 100.
It's almost 100. It's a hot day today.
I want to say, I mean, this is my biggest shot right now. This is all I got that I'm hanging on to my fine-tooth comb. So I am willing to do whatever it takes because I need that.
I can't take you out of the jail.
I get that.
I can't take you out. So this is the best option.
That's the best thing I got, so I'm going to go for it.
You honestly feel good about this?
I mean, I have to, don't I?
I just want to make sure that there's that. I don't want them to go out there and then say, basically, I want you to tell me that there is something out there.
I'm telling you, there is something out there. I put it out there. There should be no reason to be gone. It should still be there. You guys didn't find it. It's got to be there.
All right.
I mean, did you guys find anything when you were digging?
A lot of roots. Did you go through roots? Did you go through tree roots? Did you find any tree roots?
Not really.
So it was just a clean hole.
It was mostly mud. I mean, it was mud.
Okay.
A lot of times back there, it's very muddy. Like, when I went there, it wasn't that time of the year. But when it rains, I mean, it's pure yuck.
Were there any bigger trees or anything that, because there are some significantly bigger trees in some of the area?
Honestly, I don't remember being by a tree. I mean, it was a pretty open area. I mean, there's trees around, but it wasn't like I was right next to a tree.
There wasn't a tree that had a specific marking or...
No.
What about, because when we were there, it was
Yeah.
pretty, like, weeds.
Yeah.
Like, the
When I went, it wasn't. So
the
it's
ground was
hard.
pretty
Yeah.
clear.
I mean, I went, it was September when I went. The middle of September.
Any markings on the rock that you specifically
No.
put on there?
No. I just grabbed a rock that was by. That's really all I did.
Specific color?
No, it was just a regular rock. I mean, it was nothing fancy to it. And I don't even know why I did it. It was like a last minute thing. Like, I wasn't going to do anything because I didn't bring anything or think to do anything.
Well, that's what I'm
I
asking.
just grabbed it.
There's
I mean,
got to be something specific that you would remember.
If I would have known what I know now, I would have brought something with me and made it plain as day obvious. I mean, I don't know if that would have been a great idea at this point, hoping it would be, but I don't know, who would see it or what would happen. But all I did was grab a rock that was by me. That's all I did. And there wasn't like a ton of rocks. I mean, it was just one lane off the side.
Smooth rock, jagged rock?
It was just a regular, I mean, I didn't really see anything jagged, but it wasn't like super smooth either. It was just a regular rock in my mind.
But you put it there thinking it was something you would remember that specific rock.
I don't even know what my thinking was when I did it. I didn't have anything with me and I didn't even think about it. I thought, well, there's a rock there, let's just grab it and put it on there.
What about like those?
Honestly, I always thought if I had to go back for anything, I thought it would have been like shortly after she passed. I didn't know at that time she was going to pass 2 weeks later, but I also didn't think I'd be, and honestly, I never thought to go and get back and get it for anything. To this day, I never thought about it, really. Like, I knew it was there, but I didn't have any reason to go back for it.
So there's kind of like,
I mean, honestly, had I had known what I know now, when I came and met with, I want to say it was maybe February. I'm so bad with, but when they first called me and we came in, had I had thought anything at that time, I would have went and got it at that moment. Same with the Beagle Harris lockbox. But I didn't think anything by talking to them. I had they didn't give me any indication of anything. So I didn't think anything of it.
the only distinct things that I mean, back there would be, like I said, that fencing that kind of loops in, just decorative fencing. And then there's more of like boulders to kind of separate where the yards versus the trail would be.
Yeah.
Do you remember any of that being around it?
No.
Because it doesn't look new. It looks like it's weathered and it's been there for a while.
Yeah. No. I mean, I remember, I'm real familiar with that whole area. Like I said, I've always went through there. But I don't remember being by it. I don't. Like, I walked in and I was just on a mission, and I was by all mud. I mean, it not muddy, but it was muddy enough. It wasn't wet. It wasn't dry, but it was relatively mushier than it may be right now. I don't know.
Was it cooler out? Was it warmer out?
I want to say it was probably in 50s, low 50s.
Were there people out on the trail?
No, not when I went. There were people down below, like further down, but nobody like in my area, obviously, because I went around other people. You're not supposed to bury anything in the park, I know that.
Well, and I would think too, if somebody saw you with, did you have a big shovel?
No, I just had. It was honestly like probably like one of those like this. It was from Lynn's garage, and it was what she used like in her front yard, like a little planter's one, probably like that big.
Mm-hmm.
That was a. And I know I had it inside 3 plastic bags because I thought, well, that way, and I remembered I put one in the Ziploc and then I turned it the other way, put it in the Ziploc, closed it, put it the other way and closed it. I can picture it plain as day, like me doing it. I know, I mean, I need this. I need this so bad right now.
And you said it was 2 weeks before she died in the afternoon?
Yeah. Roughly, I mean.
Roughly, yeah. And then in the area where the bunny is, but we don't even know where
the bunny is. The bunny is way further in. Like, the reason I didn't go where he was is because that area, like, turns into, like, a huge swamp. Like, I'm used to that. I know that. Usually when it's, like, really rainy, you can't even go through that part.
Yeah, because it wasn't swampy when we were back there. It was a lot of weeds, a lot of overgrown, and like you said, roots.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, everything was viney and fruity, and there was various rocks.
Just him and asking more, were they okay?
Yeah.
Trying to talk on television.
Yeah, nothing specific.
Yeah, it does. Something where I don't think you're going to stab you in the neck.
No, and with the water bottle.
Yeah, break off the piece.
Yeah. Because I need more problems right now.
My boss is threatening to demote me, by the way, so I should certainly
He's what?
He's threatening to demote me.
This is honestly, God, this is like my saving grace right now. Is I need this bag. I need this bag.
I would say I think we need it as well.
I remember though, you were talking about people. When I left, 3 kids drove by on a bike. I remember that. They were looking at me like I was crazy. So I was walking back with a shovel. Well, yeah, the little shovel. Yeah. I do remember that.
And you said it's relatively shallow, not more than probably 2.5 feet down.
I don't see how it could be because honestly.
Because I know at first we were talking.
Well, yeah, I
about
said 4 to 5, but when I actually look, I'm one of those, and I honest to God, I'm like this. I have to like show you versus like.
Yeah, I know you said it would be pretty shallow next to the desk, so we're not looking at it real deep.
No.
How about how big is your hole? Like
honestly, it was, I would say, no more than a foot at most. I mean, it was literally just enough to get the bag in there. And this is the big Ziploc bags, like the big freezer
gallon
ones.
size?
Yes. So, I mean, and it wasn't like bulging or anything, I mean, I didn't have.
Like you smushed all the air out of it?
Yeah, yep, because my biggest thing is the reason I put it in 3 is I thought, okay, they'll, for water and everything, and I made sure, like, there wasn't much of anything. It was just what it was, I mean, honestly, God, the other thing I thought of, I mean, if you guys got copies of every single one of her checks, I can go through each one of them with you. Whatever you need. I'm trying to. Lynn had and I'm honest, she had a very distinctive handwriting, and she was also left-handed. I'm right-handed. Her and my mom are the same. And the way she wrote, I couldn't even try to duplicate. I'm not even lying. I write very sloppy for one, but I type everything. I don't write anything. I don't even write checks. It's very seldom.
Who writes a check these days?
Yeah, that's just it. She did, though. She was one of the few people who still went to the store and wrote checks at the pick and save.
Most people are not.
I was just behind somebody the other day, and I
Usually the only time she didn't is if, well, sometimes what she did with the check, too, because she always would take out more. You could always take out, with a card or with a check, like so much at the store. She always did that. Always. That was like her faithful thing. And so once in a while I take that back. She did do a check because you can still do it with a check. But she wrote more checks than anybody I know. For everything. I'm the one who, when we started, like, towards the end, like, I got her to do, like, her water bill and her cable and things like that. Things that she didn't. Well, cable she might have. Certain, like, regular bills that she didn't do with a card, I pretty much got her to switch everything over because I'm like, why are you still mailing in a check? Like, it's automatic. I don't know. I've always felt like that. Because that's the biggest thing that obviously you guys are looking at. You guys are pinpointing something, and I did not write a check. I know I did not write any checks to myself whatsoever. The only checks I wrote, and I don't even think it was many, was towards the end. And it, honest to God, I think most of them we did by a card. There might have been like 2 or 3. But I know, because I know better on that. That's one thing I can tell you for sure. So that's why it's like really bothering me about this. So I'm like, I'm willing to go through her account with you and show you or do whatever I have to do. And the other thing I thought of too, I mean, it doesn't compare to what she gave me, but she gave Jim close to 30, 40, maybe 50 grand. She gave Keith, I want to say like 20, 30 grand. She gave my mom quite a bit of money. I mean, it wasn't just me, so I do want like that to be known too.
How much did you say she gave her mom? I gave her mom.
I don't know because I don't know all of it. Obviously, you guys know that with the letter you guys found. Lynn, and it wasn't just with me, it was with everyone. Everyone she gave money to, she didn't really talk about it. The only reason I knew about some of it towards the end is because she was very pissed off with Jim because he was supposed to be paying her and he wasn't. And then I didn't know about the Keith money until we went through her sheets, and those I emailed Chris on that said who gets what that she wrote. And in Keith's spot, it said like he gets, I don't know what it said, but there was a few items, and then she said that's all he gets because he already got, I don't even know the way she worded it, but basically she was letting it known that she gave him a lump sum of money. I don't know when or whatever, but it was listed in her papers of who gets what. And that's the only reason I found out then that she gave him. She didn't really talk about that. She did a lot for a lot of people, but it wasn't something that she really like wanted everyone to know. Very occasionally did she, slip and let things slide. Or like when she'd give my mom money, she'd say, "Oh, don't tell Jessy." And the same thing when she gave me money, "Don't tell your mom." Well, usually me and my mom, most part, we knew unless there was a reason, like we didn't want each other to know. It just was how she was. She, didn't, or like when I was in prison last time, I was helping my mom from prison because I had a large IRS check. And I was helping my mom as far as paying like certain bills, and Lynn helped her. And Lynn didn't want me to know I helped her because she didn't want that to stop like me from helping her. Mom ended up telling me I still was helping her. But I don't know roughly how much she's given my mom. I know she's helped her a lot. And she gave her some money early on because she said, "I'd rather give it to you now before I die so you have a chance to do something with it," and so forth. But I don't know. Dollar-wise, I couldn't tell you. I didn't really ever ask because I didn't care. I mean, that's her choice, you know.
What attorney was she using for?
Probate?
Yeah, or anything that she like when she switched the will, do you know?
Lisa Martinson's been the same attorney she's used, and I believe same law firm was her parents' attorney.
Okay.
So Lisa Martinson also is the one who, I want to say if I'm right, because I didn't know this either, I think Lynn changed her will, she said 3 times, because that's the main person I want to get in contact with, because she can let you guys know, A, I did not know that I was even part of this will, nor was I the representative, and she can also give you the date when she changed it, because I don't know. I have no idea. Last I knew, it was my mom and Anthony. And I think before that, it might have just been Corrine and my mom. I don't even know. But I don't know when she changed it. I know when she changed all her medical stuff, and that was just strictly because my mom wasn't around enough and couldn't do whatever, so she switched that. But I don't know as far as the will. I did not know.
Real quick on it.
Yes.
So when you're looking at this map here,
Yes.
obviously these are the palm tree requirements on the left here. This is it. So this is the first complex we were talking about. This is the second complex. I mean, you
It's
come off
gotta
that.
be behind the first. It's gotta be. There's no way. It's too far looking on there.
Yeah, it's 30 feet. And
Yeah.
it puts you like right around here.
Yeah, it's not in like, it literally was probably 30 feet. Like, if I was walking, this room's gotta be in 30 feet, right?
What's that?
I said this room's gotta be close to like 30 feet, right?
I don't think it's about 30. It's probably close, yeah.
I would say it's about this. About this is what I was walking.
So, I mean, you would have been able to be seen from College Avenue.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I watched cars drive by. Yeah, I wasn't, like, hiding. I mean, I wasn't in a mood to, like, be all up in the woods.
Yeah, because that's exactly how it looks when you go in there. It's
Thick. And it's really thick off.
It's just like seeing it
Right off the road there.
It is.
yeah.
But I usually didn't go, when I went through there, I didn't usually go through, like, I'd be in the back of the apartments cutting through, is usually how I went. Not like, my mom didn't live at the time, so I wasn't going through there. But I usually would park in the apartments and walk through. Like, I wouldn't just pull over on the side of the road there. So, like, just pull over right there.
I think you're across the street.
Yeah, I'm trying to get back. Is that ours? Oh, no, that'd be the path. No,
That's the
yeah.
other side. That's, I think, the driveway over.
I don't like that aerial view or this street view. Alright, either way. Yeah, so we're gonna send them over there, Jesse. We should be able to put it up here on the big screen. Let's hope for the best.
I'm hoping with everything I got right now. So what else?
What have you thought of? Can you think of anything?
As far as, I mean, are we talking about, like, the day she died, the week she died, before she died? I mean, anything. Just, where are we at?
Say what the day she died.
Day she died?
The day she died.
Okay.
What time do you think you left again?
I really thought it was like 10, 11 at the latest. Obviously, you're saying it was later. I don't know. I just know I always would go there and have the same routine. I'd do the cats. I'd get her whatever she needs. I'd go through her daily pills if she took them. I'd give her water, see if she wanted to get up and go to the bathroom that day. I know she was really keen on the days prior. She wanted to get up and wash her hair. She got over that idea real fast and just didn't care.
Try and bring something up here.
No, there wasn't much going on that day. I mean, it was pretty much like our regular days.
Regular day. She's telling you she wants to kill herself.
Well, she's been saying that though for months. I mean, she didn't say it to me literally. When she wanted her bottle of water was probably 20 minutes before I was out the door, and she knew I was getting ready to leave. So she wasn't like talking about that at all until we were talking about, okay, I'm going to go and do this, whatever. And before that, we had talked about, I asked her if she wanted any more pudding or any soup. I always ask the same things because those are the only things she would eat if she ate. I knew she was stocked in them, but I tried. Is there anything else you can think of you want to eat? That's when she said, make sure you grab my card. I haven't used it. Make sure you grab my card. I said, okay, I'm going to get some more water. The only thing, and I never thought about it, but she never asked for any more eye drops. And that was one thing that she did sometimes do, and she didn't. And I didn't really think of that until I'm talking right now. Because I'm thinking of things she normally would ask, or, but she did tell me, yeah, give me water as usual, which I always did. And we went on about that, and she's like, oh, okay, well, what do you, and I said, I just need to go shopping, I need to get stuff. I want to say, I think, like, we need, like, toilet paper and stuff. That's what makes me think I went to Walmart. I know I went 2 places for sure. Woodman's, I don't know if that was then or not. I don't know. I'm just trying to think of everything exactly. And I know if it was Walmart, it'd be on Highway 100. I doubt it was the other one. I went there a few times, but once in a while I'll go to the one on Greenfield. And Pick and Save, I always went to the one on Highway 100, Hell's Corners, or the one on Highway 100 National. I didn't go to the other one that was by the Walmart on Greenfield. And then we got into an argument when she asked for her water. Because I said, what do you want me to give you before I leave? And we got in an argument about the water because I didn't want to give it to her. And that's honestly the last thing I can really remember when we left. She said, I'll see you later. I said, well, I'll be back when I get done. I'm going to go home, drop everything off, and I'll be back. And that's what I did. I went shopping. I dropped everything off at Scott's, and I went back.
But you acknowledged that you were worried about her throughout the day.
I worried about her throughout the day all the time, though. It wasn't just that day. I always do. Always. When she left, and I'm curious, you guys talked to the hospital, did you not? Did you guys talk to, like, the staff, anybody, or doctors?
They don't talk to us about stuff.
They won't give you guys anything? Mm-hmm. What about, like, her medical stuff? You guys have that?
We got it.
The reason I ask is because, like, and I thought of this, like, not the psychotic people, not the nurses, whoever it is that goes around and checks on you. I don't know what they are. Like, before you get released because she has state insurance. So these people came, and it was 2 ladies, I can't think of the right wording, what they are. But they kept coming to check on her before she was getting released because she was running out of her state insurance. That was the main reason that she was going to have to be leaving. And they weren't getting anywhere with her. She was fighting them all the way, didn't want to do the things they wanted, so forth, and she was ready to go. Because she'd already been there 2 weeks, and they weren't getting anywhere. But I remember she called me screaming. I want to say 1 time, 2 times, Mom even too, screaming because they wanted her to leave with, they wanted her to go to assisted living because physically she couldn't do anything, and they knew that. So that's what they wanted. She didn't want it. She fought them. Well, in order for them to let her leave, she told them that I'm going to be taking care of her. That's how she was able to actually check out. Now, they knew, obviously the ladies knew, I have no background for that. I didn't go to school for that. I said, yeah, my mom used to do home health care, but my mom was at the point where I'll quit my job and take care of her if that's what it needs to be. But she was very adamant about that because she was not doing assisted living. She was supposed to have help come in that week also. I don't know, I think Monday or Tuesday. They called, I want to say it was Monday, not Tuesday, because I was there. She told them not to come. She fought with them about it, and they're like, well, we have to come. It's part of our whatever. I don't know the wording for it. It's something through the state and through the hospital, and it was how she was able to leave. And I don't know exactly what they're called. They're not in-home health care. Well, they are, but I don't know the right wording for it.
Okay.
But I always was curious about that because they were supposed to come back that week. I don't know when. If she was adamant, she didn't want them there. That was her biggest thing, was nobody's going to be taking care of me. And if anybody, it's going to be you. She didn't want, and that was my big thing, is I thought she didn't want them knowing what she had going on. Because she didn't want them in her house. She didn't want to go somewhere else. She didn't want anybody else taking care of her. And that bothered me, too, after the fact, because I went, there's one thing to show adamantly that she fought them on. And I don't know, I would have thought you guys would have had some of that. I don't know. I guess I just don't know what you guys have, so. And that way, to me, that was something useful. I don't.
Good with that from anything, Jessy? Good.
I'm good right now. I might have to in a little bit, but.
Okay, well, we're not going anywhere, so those guys are they're getting all their stuff and they're gonna head down there soon, so we're gonna be here for a little bit. You good? You want a break or anything? You good?
All right.
Okay, I want to transfer out some phone records real quick. Okay, you good for a
Okay.
second?
Yeah.
I'll be right back.
So you say that you went grocery shopping, maybe to Walmart or whatever, and then you go drop everything off at Scott's house, and then you went back to the house. What time do you think you got back to the house?
I thought it was somewhere around like 4-ish. I wasn't sure. I just know I saw Scott. I know Scott gets done working usually anytime between 2 and 4. Some days it's a little bit earlier, some days it's later. It just depends. I know when I got home, I don't know if he was there right away or he got home while I was unloading stuff. But I saw him, talked to him because I was supposed to go out there and check on her, and then I was coming back to take his daughter to softball practice, which obviously never happened. I didn't take it. But I remember that.
You followed pretty much the same routine every day. You went about the same time every day.
No, I didn't. It just depended how she was doing or what she wanted or what I had going on. Usually I would go out by her usually once a day. Depending on how long I stayed, I would go back if I didn't stay very long, or if I went like earlier. Towards when she came home from the hospital, I was usually out there more often, and it was just because I was making sure she was taking all her pills and she could get me to go to the bathroom, or if I had to change her pad or any of that. But before the hospital, maybe once a day, sometimes I'd skip a day once in a blue moon.
But for the most part, were you 7 days a week going over there?
Usually. Not always, though. I mean, it just depends how she was doing. Some days, she didn't want me there, or she was doing okay, or she had her days where she wasn't doing good, but didn't want anybody around. Sometimes she just said, I want to be by myself. So it kind of varied. That didn't happen a lot, but it did happen. Or if I had, we had softball or something going on, that day, and I'd tell her, well, we have this going on. And she'd say, oh, well, can you try to stop before or after, or don't bother coming today, it's fine. It just depended how the day went. Normally I'd call her and see how she was doing or so forth. I usually always called her before I went. But then towards the end, she just wasn't in the mood to even talk. And when she did, you couldn't understand her. So I would just drive out too.
Did you spend how much time a day when you were there? Would you stay?
Sometimes it'd be anywhere from 2 hours to 6 hours. It just depended. Sometimes we just sit and watch TV. I did try, some days she has 2 cats that I'm a big animal person just like her. So I try, to spend some time with them too, because she just at the end was not really, she loved them, but she was just kind of like, get away from me, So, and then some days if she wanted, we'd change her, or she's really big into her nails and her hair, but she kind of just gave up on that at the end and didn't care. Before that, once in a while, she'd be like, let's paint my nails today, or let's color my hair, but that was 2 months prior, so.
You never took her out for outings, to go get the hair done or the nails done?
No, she always did her own hair. That's what she did for a living, same with her nails, so she never went anywhere with that. As far as, she would go out to the grocery store, things of that nature. I'd say maybe 2, 3, 4 months prior, she was still doing that.
By herself?
No. Usually I was with her. And she'd be hanging on to the cart the whole time. But the only thing the last thing I remember she did by herself, and I want to say maybe that was 2 months prior, she went to go check the mail, and she got out of the Jeep. She'd pull up to the thing, because it was, building and a half away from her building. And she'd pull up to it, and she fell right out of it. She couldn't get back up. And she never phoned, she didn't have anything. So she was out there for a while. Well, she also did it in the morning time, before people are coming and going, because that's when she always, if she tried to do anything, she did it early. And simple fact, she wanted anybody seeing her. And, so I remember she called me that day when she got big inside, and said, you're never going to guess this. I can't do this. This Jeep is not working. It's too high. And that's when she knew I just can't do anything on my own.
So how did she get things done if you didn't go over there? Did somebody else go over there and help her?
Jean would help her once in a blue moon, her neighbor. And that was pretty much it. Judy stopped maybe 2, 3 times. I don't know if she actually ever let her do anything, but, and then, my mom did early on, and then she just didn't have the time. So
when you were there, did you do her cleaning, her wash, all that kind of stuff, or was she still able to do
if she needed it, she did most of it. The biggest thing for her was, or she'd start it and finish it, or she would start it and do it the next day. She tried to physically do as much as she could, and walk around and so forth as much as she could. Not saying it got very far, but as far as walking in her place, she was able to do more versus, walking outside, obviously. She knew, she had her, it was set up in her house, it was a small condo. But she knew, she could make it to the kitchen and then she'd stop and take a break. Then that's when, she'd wipe the sink down or whatever, or she'd go to the bathroom to do whatever, and then she'd wipe stuff down in there. As far as laundry, she would always throw it in when she had it, and she would just turn on 3, 4 things. So sometimes I'd go over and she'd say, hey, can you pull it out of the thing and just hang it for me? But she tried to do as much as she could in her own house. I think the thing she had the hardest with was the cat litter. She couldn't lift it to pour it in there, and she had a hard time scooping it because it was so low down. So those were probably and she did up until, I'd say 2 weeks before, and then she just stopped. She couldn't.
Vacuuming and stuff, she was able to do that kind of stuff?
Last time she vacuumed, I would say it was probably over a month before. She had me vacuum the rug a few times, and then when she was in the hospital, I cleaned the house a lot. Big reason being is before she went to the hospital, let's say it was the day before, she was still sleeping in her bed, or trying to. And she got to go to the bathroom and didn't make it. So she literally shit all over the whole side of her bed, the hallway to the bathroom, and then the bathroom was a disaster. So she called me, and she didn't even want to call me. And she called to tell me there was a problem, but she wouldn't tell me what. And she was so embarrassed when I got there. She was bawling and crying, and she's like, you shouldn't have to clean this. So when she ended up going into the hospital, because she wouldn't let me do it before, she didn't want to smell it. So she just basically stayed out of there. She covered it up with some powder cleaner and left it be. So it was like disgusting. I cleaned the bathroom, but she basically just like cornered off her room. She wouldn't go in her room anymore, had nothing to do with it whatsoever. So when she was in the hospital, I did like a heavy duty cleaning on the whole place because of that.
So then, at what point did she start giving you credit cards to go do her shopping and stuff?
Oh God. A while back when she stopped doing it. And then some days she just didn't feel like doing it. I mean, there was times she'd just go to the gas station, get us cigarettes, or I went to Pick and Save and didn't do this, can you go get this? So that varied. I mean, she's done that on and off, I'd say probably for the past year, just days she didn't feel like doing something. Or she was very, I don't know if you guys knew this. When she left prison, her whole world changed. She wasn't the same person. She became very, wasn't when you like lock yourself in your house, you don't like people.
Like hermit.
Yes.
Secluded.
Yes. And before that, she was never like that. She was very out and about and always around people, loved life. She had a very hard time in prison. And that's partially why she got the Social Security or disability or whatever it was she got. I don't remember was what. I don't really know. But she got that when she was in prison getting out. And she never worked again after that. And then shortly after her parents died. So she just kind of broke down in her mind. And when she was in prison, everybody was out to get her. She didn't like dealing with people. So when she did do stuff, it was very early in the mornings. And she wanted to be home by a certain time before it got busy. And she was around a lot of people. So if she would go out and go to the store and then go to the gas station, if it was a certain time and she wasn't done, she just left. And, okay, I'll save that for another day, or, Jessy, can you do that for me? Because that's just how she was. Everyone that knew her knew that. She didn't like going to the doctor in the middle of the day. Obviously, sometimes she had to. But she just did not like leaving her house after a certain time of the day. It was she's been like that since as long as I can remember with her being out of prison. So since I've known her since after.
So did she have more control over the cards? Like, did she give you the card and then you'd go run the errand and you'd give her the card and the receipt back?
I'd always give it back to her.
So you never had anything long-term in
No.
your possession
No.
where...
The only time I did was when she was in the hospital. The only time. But yeah, other than that, I always give it back to her. Or like if I was leaving and she'd say, hey, pick this up tomorrow, so she'd give it to me like before. And then some days she'd say, oh, I forgot, so I would have just gotten it with my own card. I mean, I remember when we went like to Walgreens for something, or the next day she asked me to pick up something. Sometimes she'd forget, and I just put it on my own card.
And would she pay you back for those things?
Usually, yes. I usually didn't make a big deal about it because, she could take so much, so it wasn't like, hey, I need a check for this, or, But, yeah.
Jessy, what number were you using at the time?
Same phone number I have now.
What is that?
414-514-1039.
Was there a second phone you were using at all? That number?
The second phone.
Yeah. Different number? Or did you ever start a second phone?
No, I was on the same phone.
Okay, just that number?
Yeah.
What's your mom's number?
414-514. No, sorry. 414-460-5792.
Okay. That morning you guys are communicating. What are you guys talking about so much for?
Who?
You and your mom.
No idea. I talk to my mom all the time.
Between 7 a.m. and just 3 p.m. and then even afterwards, before you find Lynn, there's 30-some text messages between you and your mom, along with 15 phone calls. Some of those are missed calls, so that's a lot of communication.
Yeah, it is.
What were you guys talking about? What do you remember?
I honestly don't. I'm not gonna lie, I don't. Because when Lynn died, I couldn't get a hold of her. When I found Lynn, I couldn't get a hold of her. So I don't know offhand, talking to her during
Well, that was
the
all
day.
before
She would be working.
That was all before you found Lynn.
She would have been working, so I don't even know how I would have talked to her that many times.
You're trying to get a hold of her.
Is there multiple, like, long conversations I have with her, or just calling her?
No, there's a couple where you guys probably connected. But looks like there were a couple of,
None.
most were between you two missing each other.
Honestly, I don't remember. I really don't, and I tell you if I did, I don't. I mean, unless I told, sometimes I would call her and say, oh, Lynn's having a bad day, or this or that. I wouldn't have called her and said, oh, today I think Lynn's committing suicide, because I know I didn't do that. But sometimes I would say, oh, today she's doing really bad, or this happened today, like when she would fall or stuff like that. But honestly, I don't know. And I'm being truthful on that. I would tell you if I knew. Because I know she was at work.
At 4:51, you call her.
Okay.
And you said maybe you guys talked in the driveway. You didn't talk because there was no communication.
Okay.
It was a 5-second call.
That's what I assumed we didn't, because when I found Lynn and I called 911, I could not reach her. I must have called her, how many times did I call her after that? Probably 30 that night, if not more.
But then there were 4 text messages sent between you guys.
Between us, or that I sent to her?
2 to you, 2 from her.
Oh.
And then
I never got a hold of her until late that night. I actually went searching for her.
it actually might have been all outgoing. So yeah.
Okay.
This might have been
I was gonna say, because I couldn't reach her, because actually the cops on scene, but you said you were there now, remember? But whoever was there was gonna help me and try to find her, because I couldn't get a hold of her.
Yeah, I didn't talk to you yet.
Okay.
So 4 text messages and then 4 calls. You tried to call her 4 times.
And what time did I
Well,
call?
stand by. So
Sorry.
4 texts
Mm-hmm.
and 2 calls before you called 911.
Before?
Before 4:52. Text messages have like a 10-second gap.
And what time did I call 911?
And then you called your mom at 4:53, 45 seconds, 4:53 and 48. And then you called 911 at 4:55.
Did I call from my phone? 911?
No.
That's really weird. I feel like something's off with the time there, because I blew up her phone afterwards.
Time's accurate. I mean,
Yeah. No, I understand what you're saying. I just don't remember calling her first. I really don't.
is it possible you called her first?
I could have. But what was she going to do for me? That's what I'm thinking on that one. I mean, I'm not saying I couldn't have or could have. I mean, obviously, if I did, I did. But I didn't get a hold of her. And I don't know why I would have called her first. I know I called her incessantly, but I don't remember calling her before. I'm not saying I did or didn't. I just don't remember it. I really don't. I mean, I'll be honest with you.
You haven't been honest before?
I did not expect to find Lynn dead. And the fact that I did, when you find somebody dead, regardless if you think they're going to commit suicide or not, you don't really exactly remember the whole time frame exact, because you're kind of in shock over all of it. And I was.
But you said before you were worried that you were going to come back and find her.
I know that.
You had
But
a suspicion.
I was worried all the time. It wasn't just that day. You guys don't get it. I would call her all the time, because it wasn't just then I was worried about her. So does it show me calling her?
Well, that's my next thing. So
Yeah.
you said you tried to call with
Yep.
while you were gone.
Yeah. There's nothing.
Nothing.
What about that morning before I went there?
I only started at 7 a.m.
Oh.
So 7 a.m.
I would have assumed I did. I don't know. I know.
You would have assumed it's kind of a big idea. It's kind of a big deal.
Well, because normally I would call her. I'm not saying I did or didn't. Normally I would. I would have thought I did, to be honest. I called her all the time.
Well, you told Detective Cole and I that you were so worried about her because of the fight scene that you called her a couple
I was so
times.
worried about her. But
You told us
you
you
guys
called
forget,
her.
I'm worried about her all the time. It wasn't just that
But you
day.
said that, like, specifically, you said you were really concerned. You said you called her.
I thought I did. I guess I did. I thought I did call her. I really did think I called her.
Whose number is 491-2228?
491-2228.
That's somebody you had several calls and texts with that night.
491. 414?
Yeah.
I don't know.
So again,
Is it in my phone under like
I
contacts?
don't have your current phone available right now.
I mean, I don't know a lot of people's numbers offhand, except for my mom's. Scott's and Lynn's were the ones I only really knew offhand without being on my phone. That's what I'm saying.
Is that Anthony's number? Is that Caroline's number or Corinne's number?
I don't know without looking at my contacts because I don't remember numbers except for the main ones I always call.
Okay.
491.
Yeah, 'cause that night you.
It might have been Judy. No, Jean. I don't know. It could have been anybody. I had calls and text messages. What you said?
Yes, with that number. Yes.
Yeah, I don't know it offhand, but I don't know anybody's offhand except Scott's, my mom's, and Lynn's. If you look under my contacts, I mean, you should be able to find somebody with that number.
Oh yeah, I'm
Yeah.
going to.
Okay. I would guess it had to be somebody to do with Lynn, so it may have been Judy or Jean. I did not speak with Anthony. You know who that might be? That might be Jim. I don't know. Any of those people. I did not talk to Anthony until the next day, I believe. I could be wrong, but I don't know. Because he already knew. Because I contacted everyone else. I didn't have Anthony's phone number. But it could have been Corinne. It could have been any of them. I don't know. Because I don't know their numbers. I couldn't tell you one of their numbers.
Because all these calls, so after you find Lynn,
Mhm.
you know, after the deputies are there,
Yeah.
you start trying to get a hold of your mom again. And the texts are blowing up, the phone's blowing
Yeah.
up. Keeps on going.
Yeah, because I couldn't get her over.
What point do you call Scott?
Scott actually text messaged me
When was that?
when I was writing my statement about picking up Bella. And it was in the middle of me writing my statement because I didn't even think about talking to him, or I totally forgot I was supposed to pick up Bella. It wasn't even on my mind. They sent me a text message, not a call.
What did you reply to him?
I replied to him that Lynn's dead. I mean, I don't know exact wording, but that was, obviously I'm not coming to pick up Bella. But I didn't even say that. I just said something about Lynn being dead, and I don't remember what he replied or whatever, but just told me not to worry about whatever, and he'll see me when I get home. And I know it was why I was writing my statement, because I totally forgot about him. I didn't even think about it. I was more worried about getting a hold of my mom, because I knew my mom was going to freak out.
So you remember one text from Scott in the middle of your statement, but there's a whole day of texting and phone calls that you don't remember any of the
With my mom?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, I called her trying to get a hold of her. Before, no, I don't. I remember just calling her and texting her nonstop. During the day, I don't know what I called her for. I really don't. I have no clue.
She's working, right?
Yeah.
Would it be fair to say that that would not be consistent with a normal day? That kind of communication between you two?
Depending. I mean, some days yes, some days no. If we were arguing about something, or if I had something to tell her, or if it just depends. I honestly don't remember because my mom wasn't on my mind that day. But I really don't remember. Obviously, yeah, I was trying to get a hold of her. And maybe it was to tell her Lynn's having a bad day, but I know it wasn't to say I think Lynn's going to commit suicide today, I can tell you that. Because I've called her a million times and told her that. So this wasn't the first time that I would have thought that.
Why wouldn't you just tell your mom? You have a bad feeling about that.
I mean, maybe I did call her to tell her that. I don't know, but it wasn't. What I'm saying is I called her numerous times to tell her, hey, I'm worried about Lynn, or she had a fall, or she this, or she that. Like, I called her all the time to talk about Lynn, because I had no one else to talk to. She's the only one I could talk to about Lynn. She knew everything that was going on with her. I mean, I honestly didn't call her to say, hey, I think Lynn is dead today or going to be dead when I got there. I can tell you that. I might have called her and said, or trying to get a hold of her and said, I'm worried about her or something, but, or maybe I wanted her to go there and, or come with me. I don't know. I don't know. I really don't.
All right. Hey there, Jesse. You go back and then I'm going to come back, or is it?
Yeah, if I can go when you come back.
Yeah, just give us 2 minutes.
Okay.
They're almost there, Jesse.
So they can't get this on the big screen TV for all of us to view at a distance. So it looks like we're gonna have to use the iPad. So let me know when they're ready to.
Okay. Yeah, you just said there's a couple minutes up. What's that? Oh, we're definitely making an effort.
You are. I can see that.
Make sure.
I mean, is there anything in my favor anywhere? Anything?
Well, let's not worry that much here. Let's see
I,
what's going on here.
I've been worried nonstop, obviously.
I can see that.
I mean, I think it's a huge difference to buy somebody something versus actually murdering somebody. It's huge in my book. Huge.
Well, when you look at the totality of circumstances, as I talked to you before, and you look at the whole picture overall, it's how it's viewed, Jesse, and that's what we talked about.
I understand what you're saying. It's that's hard for me. It's very hard. I mean, murder is not something you take lightly, and it's not something I would ever do to anybody. My worst enemy. And Lynn wasn't that. She was my mom. Man, I hate my father, and I wouldn't even murder him.
That's harsh.
It's true, though.
It is.
I hate him, and I wouldn't do that.
So hopefully this will give us a big enough view where we can.
Yeah. Sucks.
I mean, I know that would have just been enlarged, or maybe it would have helped something.
Do you know, did you guys find any more on my phone? Do you know that yet? Or
I haven't gone through it yet. Okay. I mean, I do want to talk to you with some of the stuff we saw on your phone, but let's get through that.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah, I have my back hurts really bad. So I move certain ways.
Jimmy?
Hey,
Okay.
we got movement. Alright. Yeah, currently Alright, so here is the road. Alright, so this is the path.
Where's the color from the apartments?
So the apartments are right over here.
The apartments are back there.
They're parked right alongside the road. So
This is north of
Okay, so keep walking.
Alright, so it says welcome to where? Trail etiquette. And then this is where the path begins.
I know. I didn't take the path though, so that's why I'm trying to.
Should I come into a different
I came in from the apartment way.
apartment way?
Yeah, from behind the apartments.
Okay, I mean, I can walk over there. That would help you have a better reference. Or would you think you'd be able to find it from the trail?
That's what I'm trying to. I'm looking right now. This
Okay.
is a lot more greenery than when I was there. A lot more.
Sure. Well, I'll walk a little bit. If it doesn't look familiar, I can always go on the other side of these trees.
I mean, it was like mud when I was like. I mean, roughly, like, how many feet in do you think you are?
Maybe, I don't know, 75.
Oh, it won't be that far.
So they're down towards, you see those
Yeah.
people down there, they're down towards the beginning of the entrance of that trail. And on the other side is where the vehicles were parked.
Yeah.
Right on that side is where the apartments are.
So if you want, I can come in from the other side.
Yeah, I think it would help because this isn't. I'm having a really. Yeah.
Sure, I'll get call panels.
I mean, it wasn't all green like this when I was there at all.
Alright, so that's where the apartments are. Obviously, here's the tree line.
Yeah.
I'll start walking down this way.
See, because I cut in through there and I didn't have this much to cut through.
I'm sure, too, if this last fall, I'm not going to have as much fun.
But I was like 30 feet from the road and then I went in.
Alright, so here's like this big tree,
Yeah.
road, and then that's where the path is.
It's in between there and the path.
So in this large area of brushes where you think it is.
Yeah, but it wasn't that brushy then.
So I'm sure if I mean,
There wasn't even that greenery on the floor.
that's where they basically were they're standing. That's where you're standing. Is where it's all walk there from the other way just because there's less brush.
It was not this greenery. Oh.
Alright, so we're gonna do some trail. Maybe if I go in to the forest area, you'll find something you recognize, like there's kind of like a fence here. Kind of like a
Right. What's right past that a little ways?
right past here.
Yeah.
Alright, so this is again, apartments are right over here. Here's like rocks. Is it further?
How far in do you think you are about?
I mean, if you look at maybe 40, 50 feet or so.
Jimmy, if you look up, do you see that first building or the second building?
This is the first building.
I wasn't by a big tree like that, I know.
So the second building is further down there.
I mean, have you seen any of like a clearer area? This didn't have like this all around it at all.
I mean, it's hard to say because things could have grown over since. So again, here's like this like fence. You ever seen this kind of wooden fence thing?
I wasn't by it.
Okay, it's probably further in then. You didn't get to that fence. She thinks she was like 5 feet off the trail, but
Yeah.
off the trail, like you mean off from the apartments?
I was like 10 feet from the apartments and like 5 feet from the trail and like 30 feet from the road.
5 feet from the trail, so you're probably way further. Yeah, she said that people in college would have seen her.
Yeah.
Okay, so in that case, I'll head back this way. Here's like a big rock. Another rock right over here.
She said they wouldn't have been like those big landscaping boulders, but more of just a small landscaping rock.
She said she put a rock about the size of her hand on top of the spot.
Remember these like big trees right here?
I know where I dug, it was a clearing area, and there wasn't, the closest tree was maybe like 3 feet, 4 feet from me. But there was a clearing, like, I mean a good, like, clearing.
Okay, 5 feet up. Maybe like.
I mean, that's about the clearest you might see is something like that, because everything is very overgrown out there.
Yeah, it wasn't, when I was there, it wasn't like that.
You get that same deep breath.
I know, it's just freaking me out right now. Because I see, like, what you guys are talking about.
Nothing looks familiar to you. Even those fences, like, you don't
I remember seeing them, but I wasn't, like, right by them.
So you didn't get out as far as the first fence even, or do you think that you passed any of the fences?
I don't think I was. I saw them, but I don't think I was by them.
Clear area right here, obviously brush, but you're 10 feet from the apartments. So I feel like it's gotta be before this fence.
Yeah, she said she wasn't by the fence. She remembers seeing them,
Yeah.
but it was before the first fence even, you think?
I just know roughly, like, it was like this much from the road.
So maybe.
What about that sign? Do you remember seeing that weird sign that he showed you?
Yeah.
How far away from that weird sign do you think you were?
Maybe 20 feet, 15 feet.
Like further in on the trail, like you keep.
Yeah.
Probably somewhere between.
Because I took the trail in. No, I didn't take the trail in. I took the trail back. I took the apartments in, and the trail was in front of me. Okay. And there wasn't, like, a tree, like, right by me. There was a clearing area, and there was maybe, like, 3 or 4 feet were, like, the closest trees. There was a whole gap, and it was just all mud. There was none of this.
But you remember seeing that weird sign?
Yeah. And then I came out, I remember seeing it, and I just know they're there, because I've
So when
always
you
been
came
there.
out, you go straight to the path.
Yeah.
So you're past that weird sign, right? It's not like you came out in front of it.
No.
Okay, you're past it?
I mean, the weird sign was in front of me.
Oh, it's in front of you, so it's got
Yeah. Because when I walked in from the apartments. When I walked out on the trail.
So I think it's somewhere maybe over this area.
So the weird sign would have been to your left then as you're walking back out to the trail.
Correct. Yeah.
What about your left? So it's just.
If you're walking out towards the trail, the weird sign would have been to her left.
Okay.
But you weren't that close to the trail.
I was like a good 5. I mean, I could see the trail by me.
They're all bad. Well, this is actually pretty big. This is a big open area. It's right off the apartments here. Just looking for a rock. And there's a little rock. Oh, that's a pretty big rock. It's like a little pile of brush and a bunch of little rocks over here. So you must have had to go over this fence, right, to get out.
I remember the fence. I don't remember going over it. I don't.
Fence kind of lines this entire area.
Is the end of the fence just like 2 pieces though?
Yeah,
I think that might be it right there. The end of the fence. That's where I walked over. I can see it. Yep. Yep, because it's the end of it, right?
Yeah. Okay. So we're probably talking over here. I guess last fall, so. Alright, so we can maybe start looking over here. Yeah. Yeah, maybe, this area, maybe?
Does anything there look maybe familiar?
It was not green at all like this. At all.
Just like, big under.
So Shimmy, if you look out, are you seeing the apartment building number 1 right now?
Yeah, that's what it would be. Yep.
So you think in that area?
The second one had to be too far, so there's no way. It wasn't that far over.
Somewhere like in this.
I cut in between both of the two. Because I parked on the other.
There's a sign right there. There's a weird sign. And every time you see the trail, there's Cali Avenue.
So when you came between the apartment buildings, you came down and you went left?
Well, I walked around both ways for a little bit because I was trying to find like a good clearing spot. When I went, it was like mostly mud, like the top was just completely mush. There wasn't whole greenery like this, that's why I'm having a really hard time. And when I walked back, I know I picked an area that was closest tree to me was like 3-4 feet. And when I walked back, it was the end of the fencing. And I came outside the trail.
Over here, maybe.
And the parts of the gun that are in the bag are metal?
I don't know for sure. I would think so, but I don't know. I know the website, that she got them from, like I know looking at it, I don't know if you put it together, so I don't know. I know there was a part that she had to like shave down, so it can't all be metal. I don't know.
It's a little rough. Like that might be a little bit.
What was October?
So this is College Avenue here, Jesse, okay? So there's the apartments. There's 2 signs. If you were 30 feet from that roadway, it's going to put you like roughly right around there.
I know wherever that fencing is, the back of the fencing, the bottom of it, like the end of it. And then the sign's like almost right there. And it was a little bit over, like there was a clearing right there to your right. Like,
So right by this sign right here?
by that sign, shortly behind it should be the 2 logs, the end of the fencing.
Okay.
And then over that way,
Towards College?
yeah, there was like a clearing area, and the closest tree there was a few rocks over there, and then the closest tree was like 3-4 feet from me.
So Shimmy, where the weir sign is,
Okay, the weird sign right there.
okay, she's saying the end of the fencing, where it meets on the ground, there's like 2,
Yeah, the fencing logs.
and then so she said there should be, when she was there it was more clear, the greenery wasn't there, but there was a small pile of rocks, and like the nearest tree would have been about 3 to 4 feet away from her to your right or to your left.
Towards College.
Towards College.
And there should be a little clearing.
I would have been like in the middle of, I didn't have to dig like under stuff or around stuff or push stuff out of my way.
So right now, they're kind of where we told them to go. Here's the fencing.
I feel like, it's hard to tell on this, it really is. I feel like kind of where he's standing, it looks like it might be a little bit of a clearing right there, but I don't know.
Whoever has the shovel right now, she thinks it could be right there.
In that area.
Okay, we'll go scan it. Yeah, there's like a little cement rock right there. Or like a asphalt rock.
I did put down rock, but I can't even see it good enough to show him.
And what is the bag look like? Is it clear?
It's a Ziploc. It's like it's a gallon-sized Ziploc clear baggie. Right, a gallon. That's the freezer size. Like a huge one, like the one that's maybe like.
So they make gallon will be the bigger one, and then there's quart size.
Oh no, it's a quart. I'm sorry, did I say that? It's the one that's like maybe a foot by a foot. What is that?
That would be the gallon.
Okay, that's a gallon.
Yeah. And then the next size down is the quart is probably about almost the size of this iPad.
Again, how deep was it?
Maybe about 2.5 feet or so. And then the circumference of her circle may have been about a foot round.
I mean, it was literally enough for me to put it in.
She said it was just big enough about for her Ziploc bag.
Yeah, this is totally different for me.
So when we got there, it looked like a forest.
Yeah, I didn't really think this would be at all like this, or this would be hard. Now I totally have a different opinion of this all. I mean, like the first foot that I dug was like pure mush, like. On the gun was the loader thing. I don't know what you know about guns. I think it was whatever you put the bullets in.
Amazing.
Yeah, I think that was the only metal. The more I'm thinking about it, I don't know for sure, but I'm thinking because she had to file and drill like 2 holes in this thing, so it couldn't have all been metal. Because obviously you can't drill and file in metal, can you? They put a hole through it, not that I know of.
So what 2 pieces of the gun do you think are in this?
The 2 pieces that I put in were, like, when you buy this, it comes in, you have to buy, like, certain pieces. And this is, like, the main part, like, it clips together, like the sides, the top. And then, like, the middle is missing, and what'd you guys say before?
The magazine.
That part's missing. Obviously, there's no bullets. It's just the 2, like the frame, the main 2 sides. I don't know how
It's
to
basically a shell of a gun, no guns.
Yes. Yeah.
And so obviously we have a metal detector out here, and it's not hitting off this area anymore. It was hitting off some roots that we pulled up. So I mean, but again, this is probably about what you're saying, like 5 feet from the trail, College Avenue. Here's like a tree. Here's a couple other little trees. And here's that fence standing on there right now. And those are the apartments.
When you buried it, were you closer to the trail or the apartments?
I would say the trail, but it was probably, yeah. Because I just always know the clearing of the grass from the apartments versus when you, like, cross over. And mine, and I just put this in a shoebox in a garage.
Anything about this look familiar? Were the tree trunks smaller like that, or was it a bigger tree?
There was one bigger tree, probably 3-4 feet. The rest of them were smaller trees.
So maybe just that tree that he just pointed at.
I can't tell the tree on, to be honest. So.
So we're looking over here, and there's a clear opening, and there's like a rock. It's kind of like that little pink color on the tip of it. Do you remember what the rock was like?
It was just a round rock. I mean, there wasn't anything specific about it.
Yeah, it's a very clear area, and then the trail's right here. And we do you mean the sign is right there? About that 15 feet.
That maybe.
Yeah.
Maybe on the left. So.
They just were. It's totally different with a rabbit, obviously. An animal will dig that up. There's nothing for nobody to dig this up. There's nothing to smell. There's nothing.
Did you ever tell anybody where this was?
Never. Never.
So we wouldn't be able to call anybody, we wouldn't be able to
Nope.
get a hold of anybody that would know where it is.
My mom knows the park. That's it. I've never told anybody. I didn't even tell Lynn. She would have been furious that I even kept part of the gun.
Do you remember any roots when you were digging?
Very, like, little ones. Nothing that I had to fight through. They were just like,
It's a big
no.
thing right over there.
I didn't have to fight through anything. They were just like little dinky ones. I had a very mushy, my whole top layer of ground was like completely mush. Like probably a good foot.
Oh, if there's no way it's on the other side of the path, correct?
No.
So here. Alright, so we have. Yeah. Yeah, I think I dug that one. I'm 90% sure we dug right there. Yeah. So there are a couple other little rocks over here.
They're walking around right now, kind of in that same area where. Anything about anything that's familiar to you?
No.
See, they're still over by that sign. It's not looking familiar.
No. I only had to walk a few feet to cross those two end logs for the men's end.
When you buried it, were you on the side closest to the trail or the other side closest to the apartments to that fence?
Closest to the apartments, wives.
Did they go over here, like on the left side of this fence?
Yeah, she would have been closer to the apartment side when she buried it.
Yeah, I guess getting a hit. You're right off the probably 5 feet.
Any of that maybe look familiar?
There's a little small, like, branch thing, tree right here.
I mean, it's possibly okay if the soil got so wet. What would it move? A few inches at most, if that?
Yeah, not much.
No, it's not.
We couldn't just put it in our backyard. This doesn't see as a black bag. That's all I want to say.
What big?
This is a black bag.
Black bag?
This is black.
Any other ideas?
No.
They're gonna be focused more on the right side of this little fence, because that's like 5 feet away from. But it could have been further in.
And you see they're still kind of close to the rear side.
I only remember walking
It's
a
right there.
few feet and then crossing over those two poles.
There's another little pole coming together area. And this would maybe be just a little thing in here. The mark.
Honest to God, this seems like 1 in a million right now. I'm not gonna lie, just looking at this, it really does.
That's kind of how we feel when we were there.
It wasn't when I was there, but looking at it right now, that's what I feel like. There's like a flat area behind him that didn't look.
Like kind of where he is, like right here.
What were you saying about?
She said there's kind of a flat area behind you. We're getting a little bit of, when you turn, it's kind of a little fuzzy.
And it might have just been that, I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, we thought stuck here, got over there in front. And can you scan this one, right? Alright, scan that. Or at least they can. Like, you remember how big that tree that was like 3 feet away? You remember, like, the circumference? Like, talk about one of these big trees over here, like it's.
Probably like 2 to 3 feet around.
Maybe that tree.
Honestly, it's so hard to see it here. I'm not trying to, it's just the way it's moving around. I'm not getting a good visual of much.
Does that maybe look familiar?
It looks really dry where it would have changed a lot in 1 year.
You see he's relatively
Yeah.
close to the trail.
I think this would be so hard. I feel like the two spots that did, they were out of.
Jimmy, nothing's looking familiar where you are. Did you notice any trees down like that across where you were?
You know,
And obviously,
I mean, I know there were some around, but that happens all the time there, to be honest. So it just looks a lot more overgrown than how it was. A lot. And that's the hardest part right now. It wasn't like that. It wasn't like that.
You didn't take anybody with you.
You know. Lynn was in the hospital when I went. Nobody knew. I mean, nobody knew. My boyfriend didn't even know half of what was going on. My mom she knew about the gun. She didn't know where I put it. She thought I threw it out.
Can you guys still see me?
I can still see.
Is it frozen?
No, you're moving a little bit.
Okay. Mine's this poor connection. I just can't see you guys.
When you move, it's real fuzzy, and then when you stop, it kind of focuses in a little bit. There's a bigger tree. Does that look familiar at all over there?
It's on the other side.
Oh, it's not, oh yeah, that is on the other side.
No, I know for sure I was on the side. It's not even a doubt in my head. Because I never crossed that.
We're gonna just keep checking. If you think of anything, call us back. Otherwise,
Okay,
they're gonna check this area one more time.
okay.
Go from there.
All right, thank you.
Thanks.
All right, so if we come up with anything, we can call them back. Otherwise, they're just looking a little bit more, and then they're going to probably wrap it up.
Okay.
All right, Jessy. So a few questions on my end. Have you thought any more about what I told you that as of recently, as of June, that you were looking up poison stuff on your phone?
Yeah, I've thought about it a lot. And I don't know for what reason. I have no idea. None. Can you tell me what kind of poison? I mean, that makes
I know one of them was like choosing jewelry cleaner as a poison.
jewelry cleaner?
Yeah.
That I really don't know. That's why I was wondering what, because I thought that might refresh something, but
Yeah.
I've never used jewelry cleaner, and I don't have any. And that was this June. You're sure it wasn't last June? That's why I'm asking.
Yeah.
When you said that, I kept thinking that over and over again, because I'm like, well, last summer is when she first started with all her stuff, so.
Now, why was all that stuff deleted? Why was all that stuff deleted?
She asked me to delete it numerous times. She already said that's what you should do.
Well, why delete it?
Because, obviously, for reasons like this. It's sad.
So Lynn asked you to delete it.
Yeah, every time she looked at it, she asked me to delete it. Every single time.
You did.
Yeah.
Why
Not always, like, right away.
why messages and phone calls and stuff like that?
Why what?
Why would you delete messages and phone calls?
Those I delete every so often.
That has nothing to do with anything. I just delete them every so often when there's a ton on there. I've always done that. I mean, you guys can look up that, can't you? I've always done that. Usually every 2-3 months, I always delete everything off my phone. Not like, search history, but my messages and text messages. I just do it every so often.
Mandy, do you have anything else?
You guys can't pull it back from further?
Yeah, we're getting stuff.
Oh, okay.
I guess just to clear it up, a little confusion because I'm writing notes as I'm going and trying to process everything. You say that Lynn asked you to delete everything, but then you said that you delete just the messages, but not the search history. But so that
The search history is what she asked me to delete. The messages and the phone calls, I delete that just every a couple months. I've always done that. That had nothing to do with her.
okay. So you do delete the search history?
Do I normally? Every so often I will, but that was something she asked. When she'd look for something, she always asked me to delete afterward. Always.
And she would use your phone specifically?
She didn't have any access to internet whatsoever.
Okay.
Like when she first used my phone, the first couple times she used it was online ordering. She would order stuff online, like Christmas gifts, things like that. Like she ordered my mom and her a coat. It first started probably 1.5 years, 2 years ago. Whenever I'd come out there, she'd ask me like, "Oh, can you look this up?" or "Can you look this up?" or "Can you look this up?" Different things like she wanted information on. Then she got to the point where she wanted to know how to do it herself. She ordered a lot of things, half by phone, half just by online. She's always done that. That was just something. She didn't have any internet access whatsoever. She didn't have a computer. She didn't have, her phone was just a state, throwaway phone. Not throwaway, but just a cheap little, I don't know, it didn't have internet access. But she ordered these boots that she loved. She had me searching for them online for 2 months because she wanted them in every color, every style, every size. But that's how it all started. And then when she started asking questions like, if I mix this pill with this pill, what will happen? Because she used to take, I don't know what it was, some kind of sleep pill that the doctors took away from her. And she said that you weren't supposed to mix them, and she didn't believe that theory. So she'd have me looking at, or like the doctors would tell her, what was it? They'd give her like a list of stuff, like, because they kept trying like her eating and things like that, like a year back. So they'd give her a list, and she'd have me looking up certain things because she didn't know what it was. Or they diagnosed this, what does this mean? Or, so I mean, I always was doing that for her. And then it just got to a point where she got tired of asking me to do things, so she started doing them. So she wanted to learn how. So I showed her. I mean, it's real easy. So that's what she did. I mean, she didn't know much about the internet at all prior.
Did you ever bring any other devices over? Was it just
No,
your
I don't.
phone? No.
My computer, the computer that you guys have, I literally bought that a month and a half ago.
No tablets, iPads?
I don't have any of that, never did.
And even though she didn't have access, she didn't purchase it with the intent of learning how to do this and get the internet or anything?
No. She didn't want to spend more money on the internet. I had it for free on my phone. That was the truth.
Any neighbors or anything, with
Jean once in a while might have helped her order some things or something. I don't know for sure. I thought she's asked her before. I'm almost positive. Because I know like one of the last times as far as ordering like clothing, she said she didn't want to ask her again. So I'm assuming she did prior then.
But otherwise you were kind of the go-to for...
Yeah.
And you guys, I order on the internet. I just think it's a pain to always do it on the phone because the screens are little and you got to blow things up and scroll and all that stuff. So that's why I'm curious if you ever brought a laptop over.
No, I didn't have them.
And turned your phone into a hotspot and
I didn't have them.
Put it over to that.
No, I didn't have them.
Good for you guys for being able to do it all.
I did everything on the phone. Forever, and I finally broke down and got one. And it was just more so with work. I was doing so much training stuff that I got it for that. Well, then work said no, they prefer you to do it in office. So I've used my laptop like 3 times. That's why I'm like, you're not going to find anything on there whatsoever. I know that for a fact. And it's brand new. That's why I said if you need the code,
What is the passcode? Just
it's 1226. So yeah, I have no problem because there's nothing on there. I know that for a fact. But if it's brand new, I just don't want to.
Yeah, I guess I just wanted clarification because you had said that the history when Lynn was asking you to delete it, but you don't delete your history or whatever. So I just wanted some clarification there.
She was one of those people, and she was just like me and Scott. We watched the same kind of stuff. We watched all the criminal shows, and I mean, there's just something we did. We liked it. But she was nervous over everything. That's how she always was, and it was the same way. She's been in before, and she's always like that. You can ask anybody who knows her; they will tell you that she was a nervous nit about everything. She watched her back on everything. Everything. And I'm not just saying it, I'm 100% true, because I'm more or less not like that. You know, I'm very open, so that's why I'm like, that wasn't how I was.
Any particular reason that she ever shared with you why she was so nervous about life?
She was like that ever since she left prison the last time. She had this theory, and you guys might have found them in my mom's letters. I don't know, but I don't know if my mom still had them, because she used to write my mom when she was in prison. I was in prison, so she didn't write me at the same time. But she used to write my mom all the time. She thought when she was in prison somebody was after her. They were out to get her. And she left with this mentality. That's why she didn't hang around people. She was just afraid of everything and anyone afterward. Like, I don't know what happened. She tried to say the SEALs were out to get her, and this girl was out to get her, and they were all friends, and she says it all the time. If you ask people who know her, they will tell you the same thing. And she was never the same. Never.
Fair enough.
I don't know why, but I mean, people, I guess, do things differently or handle things differently. Did you get anything else at all?
Okay. Big mouth.
Yeah.
Please.
Alright, we're gonna shut off the recording so we're done talking.
There's nothing else you can think of right now to ask me, or?
No. I think we've covered it all, Jesse. I really do.
I mean, is there anything that can help me that you can think of?
Finding this stuff, yeah. I mean, finding, the stuff in the security deposits, finding this stuff that's out there. I mean, but
I don't have anything anywhere else. I have nothing anywhere else. I'm 100% honest. Nowhere else. If I did, I would tell you open-handedly,
Well,
because
I guess-
I know I need it.
Think it's just one
Yep.
thing to clarify. You said you only had the U-Haul storage shed when you went to prison, right?
This was, God, 6, 7, 8 years ago. And I actually had insurance money on it because my friend emptied it out while I was in prison. Never had another under my name since, or anybody else's that I used. Swear to God. We looked at it when Lynn passed away, and me and Scott did look at getting one temporarily. At the same time, his daughter was moving, his older daughter, and she had a storage. And we looked at possibly combining one. And then he found she had one, and we just decided we're not going to bother getting it. We put a few things in the basement, and we ended up doing the estate sale. So I don't have anything anywhere. Swear to God, if I did, it would help me, so I would tell you. I don't have anything at anybody's house, nothing in anybody's name, no storage, no nothing.
Do you remember where your storage unit was when you went to prison?
Yeah, it's on Highway 100 in Greenfield, right by Scott's house. Or not Greenfield. Highway 100 and it's right past Greenfield. It's on the right-hand side.
So yeah, place.
Yeah, it's the big U-Haul. It's literally 5 minutes from Scott's.
Okay. That's it.
Everything in the shelter.
Yeah.